always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. It may not be long until the government shutdown is over.
On this vote, the ayes are 60, the nays are 40. The bill as amended is passed.
Correspondent Bradley Blackburn.
An end to the longest shutdown in U.S. history is in sight.
I think this is a great victory for the American people.
Last night, 8 Democratic caucus members in the U.S. Senate joined Republicans to pass a bill which would fund the government through January 30th. The measure reverses shutdown-related layoffs and guarantees back pay for federal workers. It also incorporates 3 year-long spending bills that include SNAP food assistance funding.
Republicans say they'll hold a vote on health care subsidies early next month. The House could vote on that Senate bill to end the shutdown as early as tomorrow. For now, delays and cancellations are expected to get worse at the airport. These passengers were held up at LAX.
We were delayed, and then we were not able to make our connector here.
Come back here first thing in the morning, and again, pray that we don't get delayed again tomorrow.
Advice from Henry Hartevelt at the Atmosphere Research Group.
If you are flexible, if you could postpone your trip into next week or later, you might want to consider doing that because the rest of this week is still going to be ugly.
A lot of people are digging out winter coats with frigid weather on the way today. CBS New York meteorologist Tony Sadiku.
A record-breaking chill going all the way down to parts of Florida this morning, and it's a struggle. Temperatures well below normal, highs upper 30s to low 40s from Pittsburgh to New York City.
The temperature in New York right now, 31 degrees. It's headed up to 40. Parts of the Midwest are digging out from a lake effect snowstorm. Gun deaths among young people are rising. CBS's Michael George.
Guns have become the #1 cause of death for teens and children in the U.S. A study published in JAMA found that before 2019, car crashes were the #1 killer of young people ages 1 to 19. But car crash deaths have been declining as gun deaths are rising. Researchers say vehicle safety and traffic laws likely caused car crash deaths to decline, and a similar approach could work for gun deaths.
President Trump will lay a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery this Veterans Day. Wisconsin vet Greg Darden.
I'm 71. The WW2 vets are dying every day. Korea's next, and there's just our Vietnam vets, and we're disappearing. We're disappearing very quickly.
The very first Veterans Day was in 1919 and commemorated the end of World War I. Dow futures are up 8, S&P futures down 12. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
At 6:03, we have a clear sky. It's chilly out there, 28 degrees at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. Communities large and small have felt the impact of the government shutdown.
We expect a food drop this morning from Convoy of Hope, which is going to help a lot. But cities are doing a lot more, as you just heard from Mayor Young. They're really stepping up on a multitude of levels.
That State Representative Colin Wellenkamp, who's also the executive director of the Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative based in St. Louis. He was speaking from the riverfront in St. Charles yesterday and says cities have really stepped up. St. Charles City Administrator Larry Dabrowski.
We went to the council, and the council went ahead and implemented directed us to go ahead, and we are no longer doing any disconnects for the month of November and December. We're not doing any late fees as well. So
Dabrowski says with less than 24 hours notice, St. Charles was able to fill 2 dump trucks full with donated food items.
As many as 300,000 people are eligible for money from the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. Families who've had loved ones get sick or die from radioactive waste in St. Louis County. But so far, only about 1% of those eligible have applied. The co-founder of Just Moms STL, the group that fought for RECA funds for years, says many people don't trust the government or don't think the funds are real. Dawn Chapman tells KSDK she has worked with about 50 families who got either $50,000 or $25,000 directly deposited into their bank accounts, even during the government shutdown. The deadline to file is December 2027.
There could be hope on the horizon for striking AIM District 837 members. Boeing has presented a modified offer.
And the Machinists Union Negotiating Committee is telling members to accept the new deal. One of the big differences, Boeing is offering $6,000 bonus money up front. The retention bonus was removed in order to provide more cash up front. Boeing also now offering paid holidays at new higher contract rates. Service and sick leave anniversary dates remain the same. Progression and new pay enhancements, vacation, retirement, and healthcare remain the same as the previous offer. Voting is this Thursday, 8 until noon at IAM District 9 Hall on the Rock Road and at the Mascoutah Hall on Hayden Drive. The union recommends carpooling to the District 9 Hall due to limited parking. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
A church's food pantry in Grand Center was broken into not once, not twice, but 3 times.
This is Stuart McMillan.
I called back. I'm like, hey, this is the third time we've been burglarized in a week.
I spoke with Carlton McKinney Jr., running an 85-year-old food pantry at St. Luke's Memorial Missionary Baptist Church. On Tuesday the 4th, thieves broke a window and took most of the dry goods. 911 was called, but no St. Louis City officers came. On Saturday, another window was broken. Most of the freezers emptied. Still no police came. Sunday, an officer finally arrived after the front door had been smashed in.
Well, as I'm calling the police, as I'm pulling up to the building, the door was shattered. And I was like, oh my God, they came in. This was full of clothes.
The donated food was supposed to be handed out to the needy this Saturday, but it was all taken. McKinney says any donations coming in now are going to be stored secretly.
KMOX confirms the St. Louis City Police Department did file a report yesterday, but says the notes from initial 911 calls say the caller canceled the request for police at that time.
Food banks in St. Charles struggling as the city teams up with Convoy of Hope to restock their shelves.
Kobe Boyd with Palter's Food Pantry says it was a blessing to receive some of the food that came off of this 53-foot semi-truck. I asked him whether or not what they're dealing with right now and the added need is sustainable.
We can't keep this up. I mean, we can go for a while, but you can kind of see the writing on the wall that if it were to continue the way that it is, we would probably be in a very difficult situation.
He says in the last 2 weeks, they've taken on about 60 new families in need of assistance. That number during normal times is between 5 and 10 per week. In St. Charles, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The Afton School District's top administrator has been named the Missouri Superintendent of the Year. Travis Brock says he views his award as having been won by the district.
I really do view this as a recognition for the school district, teachers, staff, and community, and I'm happy to accept that on their behalf.
The award was presented by the Missouri Association of School Administrators. Brock is now nominated for the nationwide award.
The business desk is sponsored by Krenz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Nerves have calmed down on Wall Street as the Senate votes to end the government shutdown.
Wall Street kicked off the week with a strong rally on reports a deal is in the works to end the government shutdown, and AI stocks in particular led the rally after companies like NVIDIA and Palantir were hit with sharp selling last week on market worries over stretched out AI valuations. The Dow soared higher by 381 points to 47,368. The NASDAQ climbed 522 points to 23,527, and the S&P advanced higher by 103 points to 6,832. Jason Brooks, CBS News.
It's 6:08. Traffic and weather next.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's take a look at traffic and weather. At the moment, things are very calm in the area because most people have off for Veterans Day, including Roger Brand in the traffic center.
That they do. And right now we have a stalled vehicle that's been still there, 70 westbound before Jennings Station Road. Right shoulder is closed. Earlier, we had a stall 70 eastbound before Mid Rivers Mall. That has been cleared. As for our weather forecast, it's going to be breezy, not nearly as cold this afternoon, high 57. Clear and chilly tonight, low about 40. Tomorrow, plenty with sun, a high of 65. Thursday, 65. Friday, 78. Saturday, 80. Sunny all week. After the cold weather we experienced the last 2 days, we warm up. Right now, it's 27, feels like 18 downtown at the Arch. Weather sponsored by Allstate, which you could save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
That comes to you from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. It is 6:12, and the state of Texas is suing Roblox for allegedly concealing safety risks from parents. As KMOX virtual consumer editor Megan Lynch tells us, one group has had concerns about the online gaming platform for years.
They have age ratings on them, but they're constantly mislabeled. We've found violent games rated 5+ and a range of other inappropriate content.
Robbie Torney with Common Sense Media says another risk is the chat features.
There are a lot of different chat types, some of which are built into games that parents can't turn off.
Torney says Roblox has rolled out features to try to make the platform safer, but the question is whether those features are doing enough. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has announced the removal of broad warnings known as black boxes from hormone replacement therapy for menopause.
A 2002 study led to hormone replacement therapy's use plummeting based on a small increased risk of breast cancer. The FDA's review of that study has prompted a change in policy. FDA Administrator Dr. Marty Makary calls this perhaps the biggest mistake in medicine.
Yeah, arguably, with the exception of vaccines or antibiotics, there's no medication that can improve the health of women on a population level more than hormone replacement therapy.
The FDA says decisions around hormone replacement therapies should be made between a patient and their doctor. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Emergency shelter is available at several locations in St. Louis again today to help those who are unhoused or whose homes were damaged or uninhabitable due to the May tornado. About 140 emergency shelter beds will be available until 9 this morning. If temperatures remain below freezing in the morning, those shelters will stay open until temperatures are above freezing. To be connected with a shelter or transportation, call the United Way at 211. There were 117 emergency shelter beds available. 61 were filled Sunday night, and there are an additional 400 available in the city year-round.
St. Louis County Human Services, in partnership with the Salvation Army, has opened the Winter Warming Emergency Shelter, which will provide critical services for people in need during the colder months. The emergency shelter is now open through March 6th. Offering shelter, hot meals, and support services for up to 32 individuals. Clients may call 211 for assistance and entry. The shelter is located at the Salvation Army, 10,740 Page Avenue. There is walk-in day services available at Loaves and Fishes Resource Center at 2055 Concourse Drive.
By the way, 182 McDonald's locations across the bi-state are offering all veterans and active duty military a free meal today. All St. Louis City locations are offering a free extra value meal all day, while some further out, like St. Charles, Arnold, Washington, etc., are offering a free breakfast extra value meal.
You can watch us eat breakfast, drink coffee, the same things that you are doing right now. Also, we're doing news.
I'm eating my yogurt.
Oh, I had a piece of that banana bread. Did you bring that?
I did.
That was good. That was out in the newsroom. You can do that on X, Facebook, and Twitter, like Henry Barnes, who wished us a good morning and a happy Veterans Day. And we extend that to the men and women who serve our country. Thank you so much for all that you do for us. It is 6:15. How about the St. Louis Billikens? Are they good or what? I told you. They've got themselves a team, folks. How about this move? Amari McCautry, he might be the best overall talent on this team when it's all said and done. Take a listen.
Hesitation on the wing, up top to Robbie. Robbie dumped down, nice. McCautry left hand switched in midair as the defense came over and flipped it over the front of the rim. And then Jones stepped on the line on the inbound for a turnover.
He's a fun one. Amari McCautry had 23 points last night. That was a game high and a career high for him. And the Billikens blasted Lindenwood 109-66. Two Chaffetz Arena records were set. The 66.7% shooting for SLU and 66 second half points. Also, this was the first time in program history that the Billikens scored 100 or more points in consecutive games. Their coach is Josh Schertz, who also was, as it was pointed out by Bob Ramsey, had his team play some pretty good defense.
You know, the thing I always look at, Rammer, when you're looking at defense, I know, so fans focus on the number of points scored, which I understand that's kind of like basketball. Like,
sure.
If you gave up 60 points, it was great defense. You gave up 70 points, it's not so good defense. But really what you should, in my opinion, focus on is possessions and points per possession. Because really that's all that matters. Points per possession accounts for threes, twos, free throws, all the things that go into your efficiency level on both ends. So and then possessions. So how many possessions were in the game? Which
do turnovers count in the total?
Yeah,
possessions?
So we turned them. Yeah, so it's just your total number of possessions, and it accounts for everything. So for us, 44%'s okay. Where it really will make hay is we turned them over 24 times.
Yes.
And so those possessions, now for us, same thing. Our offense efficiency would be through the roof if we didn't turn over ourselves 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
And we scored 109 points, and I would bet that game had to have 80 possessions in it. We held them to 66 points, 80 possessions. I bet it's around there. That is a great defensive number. The statistics indicate that if you hold an opponent to like 0.90, so basically 90 points per 100 possessions, you win over 95% of the time in college basketball. So that number is good.
Josh Schertz, head coach of the Billikens, his former team, Indiana State, beat SIUE last night in Edwardsville, 64-55. Some big games today. Arkansas State at Missouri State at 7, and then 7:30 on FS1. Number 11, Texas Tech at number 14, Illinois. What a great one that is. The Blues could use some defense. They play tonight at home against the Calgary Flames, the worst team in the NHL, but the Blues aren't far ahead of them. 13 points for the Blues, 10 for the Flames. It's a 7 o'clock face-off at Enterprise Center. Low-scoring game last night in the NFL. Plenty of defense in that one. Monday Night Football, it was the Eagles beating the Packers 10-7 at Lambeau Field, and the Eagles now establish themselves as the best team in the NFC, tied with Seattle and the Rams. All of those teams are 7-2. The Eagles have won 3 in a row. The Seahawks and the Rams have each won 4 in a row. The National League and American League Rookies of the Year were announced yesterday in baseball, and they have, we'll get into it a little bit more coming up at 6:45 when we have some more time, but the winner for the A's slugger, Nick Kurtz, he was a unanimous choice, and Braves catcher Drake Baldwin won in the NL. We'll tell you a little bit more about those young stars when we come back in a half hour. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to homers to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Plus, with live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game is started, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sports app. Must be 21 and over and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Let's talk for just a moment about selling your home. There's a lot to consider, and maybe you're thinking about, what is the economy doing? Would I be better off waiting to see how things go? Will things improve? Will I wait till spring? Anyway, all of those considerations are important, of course, but the #1 consideration when selling your home is getting the right agent. Because when you have the right agent who can guarantee to sell your home, it doesn't matter what's going on in the economy, what time of year. Gloria Liu from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty will sell your home. She guarantees it. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Go to GloriaHasTheBuyers.com to get more information. But Gloria has a number of ways to sell your home. She also will put it in writing that she'll sell your home at the time frame and price that you both agree upon, or she'll buy it herself. She'll also guarantee to sell your home for 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. If another agent can promise you that and put it in writing as a guarantee, well, great. But I don't think you're going to find someone who will. 314-325-6888. When you want your home sold quickly and for the most money, it's Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. 314-325-6888 or online at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey. We have plenty of fun around here, okay?
No fun until 1.
Let's just make that clear. And this is some fun weather. I mean, we're looking at an afternoon high of 57 today. Tonight, clear and chilly, low 40. Tomorrow, sun, high 65. Thursday, high 65. Friday, high 78. Get this, Saturday, sunny, breezy, and warm, a high near 80 degrees. So we are going to come out of this in a big way coming up this week. That is baseball weather. That is absolutely nuts. Right now, it's 28, feels like 18 degrees from the Saliga Heating and Cooling weather desk at 622.
The Senate has passed a bill that will now head to the House in hopes of ending the longest government shutdown in history. As Ed Donahue reports, the bill does not include subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, angering Democrats in the House after 8 of their Senate counterparts caved to GOP demands, with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying the fight isn't over yet.
And we'll continue to wage this fight. No matter what comes over to us from the United States Senate to the House of Representatives at some point this week. Our position as House Democrats has been crystal clear. We will sit down with any Republicans, anytime, any place, anywhere, in order to find a bipartisan path forward, but we're not down with their my way or the highway approach to governance. That's failed the American people.
On this vote, the ayes are 60, the nays are 40. The bill as amended is passed. Under the previous order, the motion to reconsider is considered made and laid upon the table.
The deal cut by some Senate Democrats to reopen government has refueled the party's tussle over strategy and identity. 8 senators, 1 an independent, broke with Democrats and are facing blowback. Extending subsidies for health care offered under the Affordable Care Act are not guaranteed under the agreement.
This fight will and must continue. Democrats must fight because of millions of families will lose health care coverage. We must fight because children who are dying of cancer will not get health care coverage.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the fight is not over.
Doing nothing is unacceptable, but that's the choice the Republican side made in obeisance to Donald Trump.
The president says he supports the agreement.
We'll be opening up our country very quickly.
He says there is a better idea.
We want a healthcare system where we pay the money to the people instead of the insurance companies. And I tell you, we're going to be working on that very hard over the next short period of time, where the people get the money. We're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars where the people get the money.
The legislation includes a reversal of the mass firings of federal workers by the Trump administration since the shutdown began. Ed Donahue, Washington.
Uncertainty is the overwhelming mindset for air travelers. Financial desperation is the story for traffic controllers who've gone more than 40 days without getting paid. And now, as Congress votes to reopen the government, the delays and cancellations across the U.S. are about to increase.
For many travelers, it's about lost time and lost money.
By the time I got here, I missed my flight, so now I got to wait till 8 o'clock tonight.
It adds up. Like the cost or flights like to change. It's ridiculously expensive, especially if airlines don't try to help.
Those travelers in Phoenix, courtesy of KPNX. For others, like this man in New York, it was cobbling together several flights to substitute for his canceled nonstop from Seattle.
I got to Denver, so from there we took another flight to Washington, D.C. From D.C., take the train down to the station, and from there I took the subway.
His tale courtesy of WABC. The website FlightAware counts about 3,000 canceled flights Monday, with many more to come today, as the 4% reduction mandated by the FAA kicks up to 6%, on its way to 10% by Friday. For controllers like Amy Lark in New York, it gets harder to cope with the demands of the job and the demands of the debts.
My husband and I are both air traffic controllers. Now having missed 2 paychecks, that uncertainty and that financial strain is becoming unbearable.
But no sympathy in the Oval Office. President Trump, posting on social media, demanded that all controllers who've called in sick return to work immediately. But Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says even when the government reopens, it'll take time to ramp up.
If the government opens on day one, will I see an immediate response from controllers? No, the union is telling me it's going to take time to get them all back in.
And you don't have to be in the U.S. to feel the effects of the flight reductions.
Our fingers are crossed that we will get to Brazil.
That woman was leaving Halifax, Nova Scotia for an international connection in Newark. But she and this woman told CTV, what will be, will be.
We're Canadians. We'll cope.
I'm Rich Johnson.
CBS's Stacey Lynn now with a preview on how the president will honor veterans today.
President Trump's expected at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia, where he'll lay the traditional wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown and make remarks. While big annual observances like that one and New York's Veterans Day parade are going on as planned, many others are not. Due to the government shutdown, several events across the country have been disrupted because of a lack of federal employees, access to military facilities, restrooms, and more. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
It is now 6:27, and the time check is sponsored for you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
St. Louis, meet your new favorite way to start the day. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Staples presents An Easy Holiday.
Running a small business during the holidays is hard.
No truer words were...
But this year, Staples helped me have an easy holiday.
Your script has a typo.
Nope, easy peasy. I just ordered online at staples.com and picked up in store. And with UPS on site, shipping was easy too. Plus huge savings on tech, custom cards, even my holiday sale signage.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com today for up to 45% off select laptops.
That was easy.
Ends 12/27.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would it leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. If your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection on the drivetrain, AC, and more. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Call 800-298-9302. 800-298-9302.
Debt payments keeping you up at night. Credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, it can all add up and feel impossible to keep up. If you owe $10,000 or more in unsecured debt, JG Wentworth may be able to help you and put you on the path to freedom in as little as 24 to 48 months. Imagine one affordable monthly payment instead of juggling multiple bills and creditors. We've helped thousands of people cut their debt by up to 50% before fees, and we don't get paid unless we reduce your debt. The more you owe, the more you could save. Call 877-CASH now. The call is free, the consultation is free, and there's no obligation to sign up. Call today for your free consultation. 877-CASH now. That's 877-CASH now. Don't wait. Every day you delay could cost you more. Call 877-CASH now today. Results vary, not all debts qualify. Debt resolution impacts credit and may increase what you owe. Average savings before fees 43%, 25% after fees. The choice to stop paying creditors is yours. JG Wentworth does not pay debts or provide legal, tax, or credit repair services.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and immerse yourself in the captivating sounds of Russian folk music. Witness a rare event of flame and fantasy as music director Stefan Denev and your SLSO bring Stravinsky's The Firebird to life. Pianist Jean-Yves Thibaudet joins to perform Khachaturian's Shimmering Piano Concerto. November 21st and 22nd at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Clear sky and 28 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. And no real traffic to report this morning, as most people have the day off for Veterans Day, but we will keep you posted if anything crops up. What you do need to know is that the weather is going to be a little chilly today, but warming up as we head through the week. In fact, today is the coldest day of this forecast with a high of 57 degrees. So we'll see some sunshine as the day progresses, breezy, but again, 57. Plenty of sun tomorrow and Thursday with a high both days of 65 degrees, then 78 Friday and near 80 on Saturday. Currently, it's 28 degrees downtown.
St. Charles area food banks received a boost in their supply as the city teamed up with Convoy of Hope to distribute a 53-foot-long semi-truck full of food. Pastor Kobe Boyd with Powell Terrace Food Pantry tells KMOX many families they have been helping have been stressed, but news of the continuing resolution deal has provided relief.
Everybody that we talked to today, especially our new families, are very hopeful that this government shutdown will end and they can kind of get back to normal with their SNAP benefits.
Boyd says they cannot keep up with the increased demand due to SNAP benefits being paused.
Have you ever purchased something and noticed on the receipt a fee for using your credit or debit card? That is known as an interchange fee, according to Jackson Hadaway of the Missouri Bankers Association, who says the fees are used to cover the costs to a business that accepts credit and debit cards, which in years past were usually absorbed by that business. But
those are now capabilities that the terminals and the software have. How pervasive they are, I'm not sure. I know that people see them more. You're certainly aware of it if you go to the restaurant or you go to your local mechanic shop. But that's a merchant, a retail establishment specific decision. It's negotiated in the contract with whomever is providing that service to them.
Hadaway says the fees are used to pay to maintain security safeguards in using those credit and debit cards.
A 53-foot-tall Christmas tree named Silver Bell is rolling into St. Louis on Wednesday with a police escort. U.S. Forest Service Public Affairs Specialist Chris Buckley tells Missouri Net the U.S. Capitol tree is traveling from Nevada and will be on display at Union Station.
Missouri is always an important
stop along the way. We want people to come out, take pictures with the tree. We have her on this trailer with windows in the back so everybody can see the tree. She's all decorated, got the lights on there. You can sign the banner that's on the truck. So all the people that have signed the banner and taken these pictures, I mean, social media is going to be blowing up with these. But it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
This year's U.S. Capitol Christmas tree comes from a Nevada national forest and will make 16 stops across the country before taking its place on the west lawn of the Capitol.
We are going to take a break and get you your money report when we return. Stay with us here on 104.1 FM KMOX. It's 6:34.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Here's another satisfied customer of 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, Anita Bennett.
When I first heard about 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, I thought, there's no way they could do a good job in 3 days, and they must carry only the plain Jane basics in cabinets, countertops, and flooring. Then they came to our house, and we found out they offered top quality materials with tons of choices and lots of custom options. They worked with us to design a bathroom that was perfect for our family. They looked at our needs and thought of details I hadn't even considered. The installation was clean, thorough, and professional, and they were done in just 3 days. When we got back from the hotel, I couldn't believe the difference. The bathroom is beautiful.
See us on the web at 3daykitchen.com.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
It's 6:35, and your Money Minute is sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. SoftBank Group sold its entire stake in NVIDIA. That was a surprise move. It has investors a little spooked. SoftBank said it pocketed $5.8 billion through the sale, an announcement that came as investors questioned whether the tech-led rally in stocks has run too far. CoreWeave lowered its annual revenue forecast after suffering a delay fulfilling a customer contract. This is a setback for a company that's racing to keep up with the artificial intelligence boom. The firm rents out access to powerful AI chips. CoreWeave shares, which have more than doubled this year, fell about 6% in late trading. Futures indicate a lower open. Dow futures were down about 23. The NASDAQ futures were down over 100. And Warren Buffett, easily the world's best-known investor, says he's going quiet, marking the end of an era. 95-year-old said he's going to stop writing Berkshire Hathaway's annual letters and speaking at its meetings. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
McKelvey Homes, 1898 is the year they were founded, and we are so thankful. What a great company. The first and Missouri's oldest home builder, the best. They were credited with building the first gas station in the city of St. Louis, believe it or not. They go all the way back to 1898, and McKelvey Homes continues to expand. Here they go westward with a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood called Strawberry Farms. It is a vibrant new neighborhood inspired by the historic strawberry fields that once flourished in this beautiful area in St. Charles County. Every home features open concept layouts, 2-car garages, premium finishes, countless opportunities to personalize your space so it feels truly yours. This is what McKelvey Homes is known for. Beautifully designed home sites built with quality and modern living meeting timeless charm in a thoughtfully planned community. Strawberry Farms, you're going to enjoy more than a home. You'll discover a welcoming, connected community. Join their VIP interest list by going to McKelveyHomes.com. McKelveyHomes.com. Move up to McKelvey.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
The countdown to kickoff starts here. Friday's focus on Mizzou, the Chiefs, and the NFL. Only on KMOX.
It is 6:40. And you are listening to Total Information AM. And we have information for you from Fred Bottomer.
Slim down prices for weight loss drugs? I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. What do we need to know about last week's deal between President Trump and a couple pharmaceutical companies to lower the cost of those popular GLP-1 drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound? CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
I think it's important to point out that these medications are not going to be made available to anybody who wants them, who is on Medicare or Medicaid. And being obese in and of itself, or being overweight in and of itself, will not be an indication for having access to these drugs at a reduced rate. They're really focusing the access and the more affordable pricing on people who are at high risk for complications of being obese, people who are at high risk of heart disease, of stroke, of kidney failure, and other such complications. So it's not still going to be as easily accessible and as cheap as many people would want, particularly when you consider that at least 40% of the American population, if not more, depending on what definition you use, is obese.
With 60 Seconds to Better Health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
Let's check the weather. AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg is with us, and my goodness, what a warm-up we're about to experience.
This is going to be very notable. We had 70 degrees just a few days ago before we couldn't get out of the 30s yesterday. Today, we start that warming trend, and it's going to be a big jump from where we were yesterday to a high today of about 56, 57 with clouds and some sunshine. It tends to get a little brighter deeper into the afternoon, and it clears out tonight. We'll be in the mid to upper 30s to around 40 downtown at the Arch. Sunshine tomorrow, we warm up to 65, and there'll be a lot of high clouds again on Thursday, much like today. That'll keep temperatures in the mid-60s, but then we make another quantum leap up into the upper 70s on Friday with more sun than clouds, and then maybe near 80 on Saturday with sunshine. In fact, records for both Friday and Saturday are within reach. They're both 81, set back in 1971. Currently, it's not warm. It's still cold this morning. Under mostly cloudy skies, it's 32 degrees in St. Peter's. It's 32 in Florissant and mostly cloudy, and 33 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, network TV lovers, it looks like it's anniversary week. Our TV Guide critic, Matt Roush, is joining us right now. Let's start with the 20th anniversary birthday episode of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. And the show, I tell you what, the show is back on a sort of a ratings bump. It doesn't usually happen for shows that have been around this long, but this season it's back up in the ratings. And I have a feeling this episode is going to be especially big because Tom Bergeron, the great first host of the show, who was unceremoniously booted to make way for the disastrous reign of Tyra Banks, he's back on the set for the first time. You know, the show's back on its keel with Alfonso Ribeiro is a fine host, and so is Julian Huff. But Tom Bergeron was just so great on that show. So it's going to good to have him back. You're also going to see some mirror ball winners from past seasons come back and dance with this year's celebrities, and the whole thing's going to be a big party for fans of Dancing with the Stars.
All right, the 40th anniversary primetime special for a show that doesn't seem to go away and continues to be popular among younger generations. That would be the Golden Girls.
Yes, right. If you stay tuned after Dancing with the Stars, ABC is going to give us a primetime hour-long special celebrating the history of the Golden Girls, which is one of those ageless sitcoms, and it premiered 40 years ago, hard to believe. But those wonderful actresses, Bea Arthur and Rue McClanahan and Betty White and Estelle Getty, you'll see them in their prime, and there's going to be some outtakes and some other behind-the-scenes footage as the creators of the show remember the glory days of that wonderful sitcom, which, as you said, in the streaming era, you can find it and people will discover it year after year. The show never gets old. It's still one of the funniest sitcoms ever. And that cast, I mean, that was just magic, I tell you what.
And I'm older now than I think most of the actresses were playing old women back then, which is so
kind of
weird.
true. I felt I was a lot younger than myself.
Okay. Well, let's talk about a crossover.
Yeah, in the NCIS, which is one of the world's most popular shows ever, and they have a prequel, NCIS Origins, which is now in its second season. But they're doing a crossover, and they're going to flip time periods. So you start with NCIS Origins and an appearance on camera by Mark Harmon, the original Leroy Jethro Gibbs. So Gibbs, you'll see him on camera for the first time since the pilot episode of NCIS Origins, and he'll set up this storyline about a case that has haunted him for 30 years, sort of a miscarriage of justice case. And when it's over, the episode of NCIS that follows, there's a prison break that reopens the investigation. So 30 years later, the current NCIS team will go in to investigate. It's a little bit nostalgic as well. So if you're a fan of NCIS, you won't want to miss that either. It really feels like a sweeps night in November with all this stuff happening on network TV.
Yeah, and for people who've forgotten what network TV is, there is something on Netflix on Wednesday about Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it's called Being Eddie, and a documentary where he gives a very revealing interview about his career from Saturday Night Live to become a movie star and all of that. So if you're a fan of Eddie Murphy, you want to check that out on Netflix, because network TV, even when it's strong, there's always something to watch on streaming.
That is Matt Roush of TV Guide Magazine joining us on KMOX.
Folks, get your popcorn. Billiken basketball is alive and well in Midtown.
Got a screen. Brown goes under it. Jackson lost it. Good defense, 3-on-1. It's McCautry. No look, driving. Back to McCautry. Layup, good. Give. McCautry from Jones. Whistle on a foul. Count the basket. Jackson up top for Williams. Dontrez got a step and a drive. And rejected by Kellen Thames and out of bounds. Yes. Great help defense.
Yeah, Dontrez and Kellen kind of mirror each other.
Green has it on the right wing for Sharma. Wants a three on a sidestep. Bang! Wow. Instant Sharma to start the half.
Beautiful. Rip through. Got the feet set, knocked down the triple.
Biggest lead, 46-29.
It would get a lot bigger than that. Bob Ramsey, Earl Austin Jr. with the call on KMOX yesterday. The Billikens overwhelm Lindenwood 109-66. They have 5 different players in double figures in this game, led by Amari McCautry. He had 23 points off the bench for SLU. Their starters, 3 of them were in double figures. Dion Brown with 17, Ishan Sharma with 16, Quentin Jones with 10. Off the bench, Kellen Thames, you heard him with the block there. He also had 2 steals. He had 12 points. The Billikens have some big-time scorers. Robbie Avila didn't even go into double figures. He had 9 points, didn't have to shoot. He was only 3 of 4 from the floor. On the flip side, the Billikens did turn it over a little bit more than the liking of Coach Josh Schertz. 20 turnovers, but he knows they play at a breakneck pace.
I know we're going to turn over more than the average team because we play faster and we have more guys handle the ball.
Yeah.
If you want to not turn the ball over, the best way to do that is to have one person.
Yuri Collins.
Yes, and have the ball in his hands all the time. Have your best decision maker with the ball in hand, and everybody else play off that. If you want to turn over, very little. For us, that would kind of the downside of the way we play is that
the ball sticks sometimes.
Yeah, and that everybody is a decision maker. So we're in transition. And man, sometimes I don't know what Dion Brown's going to do, but to take that away would take away our pace and aggressiveness.
Right. They are a pretty wild team and fun to watch. Billikens just smoke Lindenwood. They've scored 309 points in their first 3 games. They'll be challenged this Saturday. Would be a great chance to pack into Chaffetz and see the Billikens play Grand Canyon on Saturday night. That is a good basketball team coming into town. Indiana State beat SIUE 64-55 in Edwardsville last night. Arkansas State visits Missouri State tonight at 7, and then at 7:30, number 11 Texas Tech at number 14 Illinois tonight in college basketball. At Enterprise Center, the Blues taking on the worst team in hockey, the Calgary Flames, with just 10 points. But with a win, they'd be just a point behind the Blues. They have 13, the worst team in the Central Division. Baseball, the Rookies of the Year announced yesterday. Athletic slugger Nick Kurtz, a unanimous choice for the AL, and the Braves catcher Drake Baldwin, the winner in the NL. Kurtz batted .290 with 36 home runs, 86 RBIs in just 117 games this year. He became the 8th rookie since 1901 to finish with an OPS over 1,000 while making at least 400 plate appearances. And the 24-year-old Baldwin filled in for number one catcher Sean Murphy after Murphy was sidelined by a cracked rib in spring training. He hit .274, Baldwin did, with 19 home runs, 80 RBIs, and an .810 OPS in 124 games. Monday Night Football was the Eagles over the Packers 10-7, and the Giants fired their coach, Brian Daboll. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
3-2 delivery on its way.
There, when he became a hometown hero.
Swing and a high drive to center field. Get up, baby. Get up, baby. Get up. Oh, yeah. David Freese has just sent us into game number 7. This series is tied 3-3 with a walk-off home run here in the bottom of the 11th inning.
You know, this team deserves this, and this organization is top-notch, and these fans are unbelievable, and they are the best fans in baseball. This is definitely a dream come true.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by the Polar Express at St. Louis Union Station. Get your tickets now at stlpolarexpressride.com.
The Polar Express is back in St. Louis. Book your magical trip before they sell out. Book a weekday trip in November and receive a complimentary ticket to ride the St. Louis Wheel. The Polar Express train is arriving at the St. Louis Union Station on November 14th, and you're invited to hop in. Start a journey towards the North Pole. Meet Santa Claus and his elves, and see STL from 200 feet up, and feel the magic of the Christmas story everybody loves. Book your trip at stlpolarexpressride.com. All aboard the Polar Express.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Got a bit of an issue downtown at the moment. An accident, a crash, 44 westbound before 64 has the right lane closed, and therefore we have a bit of a backup right up to the arch. Again, that's 44 before 64. The right lane is closed.
Hey, by the way, the Musial Awards are coming to the Stiefel Theater on the 22nd, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. It is a wonderful event, one of the best of the year. We've got a pair of tickets to give away after Tom's next sportscast at 7:15, so be listening to win a pair.
All right, now we'll take a look at your weather. Clouds and some sun, becoming breezy, not nearly so cold in the afternoon, a high of 57 degrees today. Clear and chilly, low 40. Tomorrow, plenty of sun, high 65. Oh, it gets better. Thursday, sun, high 65. Friday, sun, high 78. Saturday, sunny, high near 80 degrees.
Wait, what's the date today?
Yep. November 11th. Unbelievable. I mean, really. Right now, it is the complete opposite of that. As you walk out the door, it is not 80 at all. It's 28. Feels like 19 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:52. It's now up to the House to end the government shutdown.
The Senate approved a deal last night. 8 Democrats crossed the aisle and agreed to extend government funding through January and reinstate federal workers who were laid off during the shutdown. In return, Republicans agreed to hold a vote soon on extending health care tax credits. Angry Democrats like California Congressman Ro Khanna say Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer needs to be replaced.
He is not meeting the moment. He's out of touch with where the party's base is.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Also in the news this morning, the vote by Illinois Senators Dick Durbin on a measure that clears the way for the federal government to reopen is uniting the three top Democrats running for his seat. Durbin is retiring. Political editor Jeff Buckholtz reporting from Chicago.
Congresswoman Robin Kelly, Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy, and Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton all want to succeed Dick Durbin, and all three are in agreement. The bill that's now up for consideration after Durbin's vote to open debate is a bad idea. Kelly says the deal abandons millions of people. Krishnamurthy says, and this is a quote, "The ability of the American people to afford health care must not depend on Donald Trump keeping his word." And Stratton says healthcare cannot, in her words, be the trade-off for resuming government operations. Governor Pritzker calls the bill an empty promise. Durbin's Senate colleague Tammy Duckworth says this is the time, as she puts it, to keep fighting to protect the American people.
Shutdown-related delays and cancellations have travelers on edge. One pilot has gone viral for his suggestion.
A Delta pilot soothed passengers' jittery nerves on a flight from Atlanta to Raleigh-Durham by reassuring them.
This aircraft does not move a single inch unless both my co-captain Michael and myself are absolutely certain it's safe to do so.
If that wasn't enough, Captain Christopher Pennington put on his dad hat.
Before I left the house on this trip, my little one has learned the word ice cream, and she made me make sure I promised her to get her ice cream when I get back home from the trip. That being said, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing unsafe comes in between me, that little girl, and her ice cream.
He urged flyers to use the free Wi-Fi to phone home and make plans of their own. The post has racked up more than 12 million views. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
A Missouri teen gave her parents quite a shock when she walked in holding a wild possum by the neck. Talia Lehman says she just wanted to show them her unexpected find outside their home near Joplin.
I've had them get close to biting me, but they've never actually bit me.
We're like, what? And then it was just funny. I was like, let me record this because her standing at the doorway holding that possum looked so funny.
She's always loved animals, been very good with animals.
All righty. The little guy did what possums do best, played dead, a defense trick they use when they're scared. Luckily, Talia got her video. Her parents got a scare, and the possum got safely released back into the wild.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Leo.
The Scamerhorns was one of the oldest families in New York. They didn't run the city, but they was listened to quite carefully by them that did.
Leonardo DiCaprio is 51 today, also celebrating a birthday.
I love you. I really love you.
Ditto. Demi Moore, she is 63 today. That, of course, is from Ghost. And, oh, I like this guy.
What is it that you really like to do? Eat.
You ever watch his food videos? They're great.
Oh, he's
Stanley
the best.
Tucci is 65 today.
Remember, if you have a birthday or anniversary you would like announced during this segment, totalam@kmox.com is where to send it. totalam@kmox.com. The birthday segment sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday to Johnny Schallert from the Springs, Irene DeFilippis, Anne Marie Fraser, Donna Morgan, Joe Kaiser, Kathleen Buck, Glenelle Wells, Laura Bond, Kristen Dames, Dave Murray, and Charlie Brennan. Happy birthday.
This is the best birthday ever.
Renewal by Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
It is getting to be that time of year. If you have one of those health savings accounts, you're thinking, oh, do I have some money left in that? Or if it's just end of year and you're trying to take care of things, make sure you get your eyes checked. Your eye exam at Ophthalmology Associates is most likely covered by insurance, and it'll be the most thorough eye check that you have ever had in your life. And I mean that in the best way. It's more than just reading the eye chart. They're checking your eyes for all kinds of things. It's actually a really fascinating experience. It was pretty cool. I learned a lot about my eyes. Dr. Ranjan Malhotra is my doctor. He also diagnosed me with dry eye disease, which I knew I always had dry eyes. I thought it was just annoying, but it's actually a very serious issue that was affecting my eyesight and could have made it actually much worse. But now we've gotten some eye drops that are working very well. So it could be something like that, or who knows what else, because the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates are experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. They are doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Call today for your appointment at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
We got an issue downtown right now. 44 westbound is what MoDOT told us before 64, the right lane closed. But I'm seeing eastbound an accident as well, backing up from what looks like the landing all the way back to Cass. You might want to get off at Tucker if you are heading into the city.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
Sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A big step forward in ending the 42-day-old government shutdown. Correspondent Michael Wallace has our top story.
The Senate approved a deal last night. 8 Democrats crossed the aisle and agreed to extend government funding through January and reinstate federal workers who were laid off during the shutdown. In return, Republicans agreed to hold a vote soon on extending health care tax credits. Angry Democrats like California Congressman Ro Khanna say Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer needs to be replaced.
He is not meeting the moment. He's out of touch with where the party's base is.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The House could vote on the bill as soon as tomorrow. It does not deal with Democrats' health care demands. Republican leaders say they'll take up that issue next month. When the shutdown does end, don't expect an instant fix at the airport. Debbie Moydell was delayed in Tulsa.
Glad we're already here because I think it's getting really bad, getting a lot worse. And we're thankful that we have made it and my luggage all showed up.
Experts say it'll get even worse before it gets better. Meantime, air traffic controllers like Joe Segreto, who missed 2 paychecks, are hoping they won't miss a third.
It's tough when your children are asking you questions about, Dad, can we, go on vacation, or can we do this, or can we do dance, or can we do basketball? And you don't have those extra funds. It's terrible.
Parents of campers and counselors killed in catastrophic flooding at Camp Mystic in Texas July 4th have filed a lawsuit citing gross negligence. Wendy Childress' daughter was one of 2 counselors who died.
Because the rule was to stay in place, they stayed in place, and it cost all of those children, including Catherine, their lives.
President Trump is making a new bid to scrap the $5 million civil judgment against him over writer E. Jean Carroll's claims he sexually abused her in a department store dressing room in the 1990s. The New York Times reports Trump's lawyers have filed a petition asking the Supreme Court to overturn that decision, calling the original case flawed and its assertions, quote, implausible and unsubstantiated. Lower courts have upheld the original judgment. CBS's Vicki Barker. With airline passengers on edge during the shutdown, a Delta pilot soothed jittery nerves on a flight from Atlanta to Raleigh-Durham by reassuring them
this aircraft does not move a single inch unless both my co-captain Michael and myself are absolutely certain it's safe to do so.
Then Captain Christopher Pennington put on his dad hat.
Before I left the house on this trip, my little one has learned the word ice cream, and she made me make sure I promised her to get her ice cream when I get back home from the trip. That being said, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing unsafe comes in between me and that little girl and her ice cream.
Dow futures up 27. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay, things people love.
It's 7:04. We have a clear sky and 28 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. Striking machinists who have been on the picket line for more than 3 months now have a modified offer from Boeing.
And the IAM District 837 Negotiating Committee recommends accepting the deal. Here's what's different. Boeing is now offering $6,000 bonus money up front, paid holidays at new higher contract rates. Third service and sick leave anniversary dates will not change. That $6,000 bonus is $3,000 more from the previous offer. The retention bonus was removed to provide more cash up front. In the new offer, there's no change in progression and new pay enhancements. Vacation, retirement, and healthcare, there are no changes from the previous offer. Members can vote between 8 Thursday morning and noon at IAM District 9 Hall on the Rock Road or in Mascoutah headquarters on Hayden Drive. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Also in the news this morning, as many as 300,000 people are eligible for money from the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. Families who have had loved ones get sick or die from radioactive waste in St. Louis County, but so far, only about 1% of those eligible have applied. The co-founder of Just Moms STL, the group that fought for RECA funds for years, says many people don't trust the government or don't think the funds are real. Dawn Chapman tells KSDK she's worked with about 50 families who got either $50,000 or $25,000 directly deposited into their bank accounts, even during the government shutdown. The deadline to file is December 2027.
St. Charles City is receiving a 53-foot-long truckload of food to give to area food banks, and the timing couldn't be better.
Pastor Kobe Boyd with Palter's Food Pantry in St. Charles says the delivery of this food could not come soon enough, as the suspension of SNAP benefits has really put a strain on their operation.
In the last 2 weeks, we've had 60 new families sign up. So this food that we've received from the city has been an answer to prayer and a blessing.
He says in a typical week, they get about 5 to 10 new families that sign up, but that was before the shutdown. In St. Charles, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A food pantry at St. Luke's Memorial Missionary Baptist Church in Grand Center was robbed 3 times in a week. St. Louis police finally showed up following the third break-in, and all the donated food for Thanksgiving was stolen. KMOX's Stuart McMillan spoke to food pantry director Carlton McKinney Jr.
I said, okay, it came down. This time they took the more of the dry goods. This time they took all of the chickens out the freezer, took the rest of the sodas and canned goods. And I was like, okay, all right, okay, God. Called the police again. No response. And I'm like, what?
You haven't had one officer come out here?
Not in 2 days, no. So the lady I was on the phone with, her name was Kate. She said, Call back tomorrow. This was Saturday. She said, call back on Sunday when you guys are down there for service. She said, I will send somebody right out. She said, I'm so sorry that nobody is coming.
When Sunday came, McKinney called police, but the damage had already been done again. Thieves smashed out the front door and took what was left of the food donations. KMOX confirmed St. Louis police did file a report Sunday, but says the notes from initial 911 calls say the caller canceled the request for police at that time.
182 McDonald's locations across the bi-state are offering all veterans and active duty military a free meal today. All St. Louis City locations are offering a free extra value meal all day, while some further out, like St. Charles, Arnold, Washington, are offering a free breakfast extra value meal that is for veterans and active duty military.
The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. The historic Linnean House at Missouri Botanical Garden has reopened to the public. The oldest continuously operated greenhouse west of the Mississippi River underwent an extensive renovation to return to its original 1882 purpose as an orangery. Orangeries by the 1800s had expanded from just growing tropical fruits to becoming showcases for broader plant diversity and rare species. During November, there will be a variety of poinsettias.
It is 7:08. We'll take a quick break and check the weather for sure, traffic if there is any, and then tell you more about the risks of a video game that your child may be playing. Stay tuned.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to homers to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Plus, with live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has started, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sports app. Must be 21 and over and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
44 coming into downtown, backed up due to a pair of accidents. Traffic backed up to Cass right now from Laclede's Landing. If you're coming into downtown, might want to get off at Tucker and work your way in that direction. Otherwise, traffic looking pretty clear around the area. That one has been going on for a good probably 45 minutes at this point. We first got the report on that from MoDOT at around 6:30.
KMOX AccuWeather, clouds and some sun today, becoming breezy and not nearly so cold this afternoon. Our high for Veterans Day about 57. Tonight will be mainly clear and chilly, though 36 to 40. Tomorrow, pleasant day, lots of sunshine and turning milder, high 65. Thursday, sunshine dimmed by some high clouds, a high temperature 65. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is cloudy and windy out there right now, 29 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
It's 7:12. The state of Texas is suing Roblox for allegedly concealing safety risks from parents. As KMOX virtual consumer editor Megan Lynch tells us, one group has had concerns about the online gaming platform for years.
They have age ratings on them, but they're constantly mislabeled
we've found violent games rated 5+ and a range of other inappropriate content.
Robbie Torney with Common Sense Media says another risk is the chat features.
There are a lot of different chat types, some of which are built into games that parents can't turn off.
Torney says Roblox has rolled out features to try to make the platform safer, but the question is whether those features are doing enough. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The FDA will lift its black box warnings on menopause hormone therapy, potentially boosting access to it for millions of women. We get more from KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer.
A 2002 study led to hormone replacement therapy's use plummeting based on a small increased risk of breast cancer. The FDA's review of that study has prompted a change in policy.
We now have a more nuanced understanding, and we want to put that fear machine in its proper context.
FDA Administrator Dr. Marty Makary.
There was no statistical significance, and no subsequent clinical trial has ever shown an increase in breast cancer mortality. And look at the long-term health benefits. The reduction in cognitive decline, in heart attacks, in bone fractures, in other conditions, including cancer and diabetes that have been suggested in some studies.
Makary says hormone replacement therapy may improve the health outcomes of women at a population level more than any other intervention, arguably with the exception of, say, antibiotics or vaccines. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The Missouri Association of School Administrators has presented the Superintendent of the Year award to a local district. Travis Brock, superintendent of Afton, says he was surprised to hear his name announced at last month's awards banquet, saying the district kept it secret from him. He says there are a variety of things the association considers when selecting a winner,
like passing a bond issue to improve your schools. It could also be having your district be a part of specific initiatives across the state, like the innovation waiver. So really just wanting you to put forward.
Brock says this award should be viewed as a recognition of the district's teachers, staff, and community.
The city of Farmington reminding citizens there are options available for those in need, including emergency overnight shelters, warming shelters, and day shelters. The Uplift Emergency Winter Overnight Shelter is on Wallace Road, operated by East Missouri Action Agency, and offers shelter from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. daily. If the daytime temperature is 40 degrees or below, that shelter will be open 24 hours a day. Additional overnight shelter options are at the Southeast Missouri Family Violence Council and Shared Blessings Transitional Housing in Bonne Terre.
In addition to our issue downtown, 44 backed up from Laclede's Landing to Cass, we also have a backup on 94. This is in Weldon Spring, the Bush Wildlife area. You're going to have to use some patience here. It's backed up 94 all the way to 64 from Francis Howell High School. Also, if you're approaching 94 from Highway D, you're going to see a backup there as well. Pretty severe backup here if you're trying to get on 94 heading southbound to the Bush Wildlife area from 64 at 7:15. You know who's looking good right now? The St. Louis Billikens. We told you they're going to be a good team. We told you they've got some serious firepower. Take a listen.
Got a screen. Brown goes under it. Jackson lost it. Good defense, 3-on-1. It's McCautry. No look. Driving. Back to McCautry. Layup good. Give. McCautry from Jones. Whistle on a foul. Count the basket.
And they also can shoot the ball. They can shoot it in volume.
Green has it on the right wing for Sharma. Wants a three on a sidestep. Bang! Wow. Instant Sharma to start the half.
Beautiful. Rip through. Got the feet set. Knocked down the triple.
Biggest lead, 46-29.
Bob Ramsey with the call on KMOX 109.66. The Billikens hammer Lindenwood, and Rammer and Earl visiting with Josh Schertz after the game.
Back-to-back 100-point games for the first time in the history of St. Louis University basketball.
Wow, I did not know that.
How about that?
That's a good stat. I thought we were going to. I told Robbie there was a number of guys that were trying to challenge his single game turnover record here from 10 last year against Duquesne. Rob was rooting for more guys to play more. He was like, "Hey, keep these guys out there. Somebody's going to get 11 maybe." So it's we do not lack for firepower like we talked about. As we're coming on, it's a little bit like riding a roller coaster. Sometimes makes you sick. Sometimes it's good. I worry always about the people in the stands trying to, I'll say we have courage. I mean, I told Amari, like we had about 19 turnovers, and he throws a half-court lob and decapitates the band leader.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, what are we doing?
Josh Schertz, the Billikens had 20 turnovers. McCoughtry, though, had 23 points. That's a career high for him. And the Billikens hand another team a severe loss, 109-66. They've scored 309 points in their first 3 games. They'll be tested Saturday night when they host Grand Canyon. Indiana State strolled into Edwardsville last night and beat SIUE 64-55. That's Josh Schertz's former team, the Indiana State Sycamores. Arkansas State visiting Missouri State tonight at 7, and in Champaign, huge game tonight on FS1, 7:30 tip. Number 11 Texas Tech at number 14 Illinois. The Blues play tonight at home against the Calgary Flames. They face off at 7 o'clock. We'll hear a little bit more from Coach Jim Montgomery on the way at 7:45. Monday Night Football, it was the Packers losing at home to the Eagles, who reestablished themselves as a power in the NFC. 3-way tie for the top at 7-2, including the Eagles, the Rams, and the Seahawks. They're all 7-2. Eagles won it 10-7 at Lambeau. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never been to the Musial Awards, it is one of the most spectacular nights in St. Louis. It is a giant TV live broadcast with the most amazing stories of great sportsmanship. They give you tissues because you'll cry from happiness. And I mean that in a good way. Anyway, it's an event many people never miss. And we've got a pair of tickets to give away. It's coming up the 22nd, next Saturday, the 22nd at Stiefel Theater. So if you can go and you would like a pair of tickets, be caller number 5 right now at 314-955-1120. 314-955-1120. Caller number 5 gets a pair of tickets to this incredible red carpet event, the Musial Awards.
Attention veterans and active military. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is ready to help you. They are doubling their usual veterans discount on all products and services in November. Veterans and active military get 10% off all month at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. 10% off all doors, openers, and any service or repair. All doors, openers, and any service. Details on their website. This is the time to get your garage door tuned up. This weather is crazy. We're going from freezing to hot to freezing. You got to get that garage door tuned up for the winter before winter really sets in. Call 314-781-5200 for Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Did you know that they have been here since 1926? Almost as old as KMOX. They're about to turn 100 as well. 314-781-5200. You can recognize them from the red ribbon. That separates them from other companies that try to copy the name. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. In September, House Republicans passed a bill to keep the government open by extending funding at current levels. Now Washington liberals are holding the American people hostage. They shut down your government and are demanding Medicaid for illegal aliens and funding for woke projects, which would cost taxpayers $1.5 trillion. Now federal workers are missing paychecks. That's unacceptable. Throughout the shutdown, our offices will remain open to help you, our constituents. Go to onder.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good news, they've opened up 44 before 64 downtown, so all lanes are open and getting through now. And Weldon Spring, it looks like they've relieved that issue. They had a big backup on 94 approaching Francis Howell High School. Looks like that's rolling along as well. And they've just cleared emergency vehicles 270 southbound to Manchester Road. So it looks like you are looking good on this Veterans Day, a holiday for many. So the roads are not as busy at 721.
The weather is going to be really nice. Today is going to be a little on the chilly side because it's pretty breezy out there right now. And frankly, it's cold out there right now. But It's going to warm up with sunshine to 57 degrees today. So that's not too bad, but that's the coldest day of this 5-day forecast. Hold on to your hats for what's coming, because it's going to be 65 tomorrow and Thursday with sunshine, then 78 on Friday, maybe 80 on Saturday. But currently it is 29, make that 30 degrees now and cloudy in downtown St. Louis, but it feels like 19 degrees.
And the weather is sponsored by the Bruning Law Firm. With decades of courtroom experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, the Bruning Law Firm has built a reputation for fighting hard and winning big. When your future is on the line, you want seasoned attorneys in your corner. Visit BruningLegal.com today. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
The news continues at 7:23. The Senate has passed a bill that would end the government shutdown.
The longest government shutdown in U.S. history has moved closer to an end. A small group of mostly Senate Democrats has struck a deal with Republicans, and a 60-40 vote Monday night broke a stalemate that lasted more than 6 weeks. The shutdown could continue for a few more days as members of the House, who have been on recess since mid-September, return to Washington to vote on the legislation. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Republicans and Democrats in the House, you need to begin right now returning to the Hill. We have to do this as quickly as possible. Now, we look forward to the government reopening this week so Congress can get back to our regular legislative session.
The legislative package that appears on track to end the shutdown leaves out any clear resolution on the expiring Affordable Care Act tax credits, which have made private health insurance less costly for millions of Americans. Mike Hempen, Washington.
President Trump hosted Syria's president at the White House as the administration works towards continued peace in the Middle East following a recent ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas.
President Trump met with Syrian President Ahmad al-Sharaa in the Oval Office. He told reporters he wants good things for Syria.
We'll do everything we can to make Syria successful because that's part of the Middle East. We have peace now in the Middle East, first time that anyone can remember that ever happening.
Al-Sharaa is a former jihadist fighter who helped lead a rebel group against former President Bashar al-Assad and took power last year.
I think this leader can do it. And people said he's had a rough past. We've all had rough pasts. But he has had a rough past, and I think, frankly, if you didn't have a rough past, you wouldn't have a chance.
Al-Sharaa fought against the U.S. alongside al-Qaeda in the Iraq War. He was actually captured and then released by the U.S. military in 2007. He told Fox News in an interview that after the fall of the former regime, Syria entered a new era focused on building a relationship with the United States.
The reasons for the presence of the United States militarily in Syria needs to be with the coordination with the Syrian government right now. So we need to discuss these matters, and we need to talk about and get into an agreement about ISIS.
After the meeting, the U.S. lifted business-related sanctions against Syria. The U.S. Treasury Department says that the move will help Syria rebuild its economy and combat terrorism. Meanwhile, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is scheduled to visit the White House next week for an official working visit with President Trump. The meeting follows the president's trip to Saudi Arabia in May. I'm Clayton Neville.
The U.S. Supreme Court has declined to hear a case that could have overturned its landmark decision that legalized same-sex marriage.
On Monday, the Supreme Court let stand its 2015 decision legalizing same-sex marriage nationwide by declining to hear an appeal, leaving the Obergefell versus Hodges ruling intact. The appeal came from Kim Davis, a former Kentucky County clerk who made headlines for refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples based on her religious beliefs. Backed by the conservative legal group Liberty Counsel, Davis faced lawsuits from several couples and was briefly jailed for defying a court order to issue the licenses. Davis argued that her actions were protected by the First Amendment, but lower courts disagreed. Jim Obergefell told NBC News that he never imagined he would still be fighting a decade after marrying his now deceased husband, John Arthur.
People stop me still and hug me. Often they start crying and they talk about what this decision, what marriage equality means to them personally or for someone they love.
He also expressed concern that if Roe versus Wade could be overturned, so could marriage equality.
With the proverbial stroke of a pen on that decision, that right was taken away. We have to learn from that.
Despite the court's 6-3 conservative majority, Only one justice has publicly hinted at revisiting the decision, and none of the others joined him.
Clarence Thomas specifically called out Obergefell. We should not feel safe.
For now, same-sex marriage remains legal throughout the United States. I'm Sue Aller.
It's 7:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
St. Louis, meet your new favorite way to start the day. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
At 7:31, we have a very nice week planned for you, but it's still cold out there. 27 degrees, feels like 19 downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. Yeah, the weather is going something else. Just when you get used to the winter weather and you get the hats and gloves out, we've got summer returning again by the end of the week. So today, not so much. Breezy, cloudy with some sun, high of 57. 65 with sunshine tomorrow and Thursday. 78 on Friday. Mostly sunny, near 80 on Saturday. Currently, it's 29 out there. It feels like 19.
As for traffic, pretty light out there. Some volume building 270 northbound from Tesson Ferry up through Gravois, and again, just north of 44 up to 64, and 64 eastbound from Olive to 141, a bit of a slowdown. The Senate passed legislation to reopen the government, bringing the longest shutdown in history closer to an end after a small group of Democrats struck a deal with Republicans. Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt says the Democrats' strategy hurt America.
It did strike me. You look around, the people are really suffering, right? The idea that you would go without 2 or 3 paychecks, again, for the Democrats to just kind of grandstand because they want to be, viewed as the resistance in fighting Donald Trump was a flawed strategy from the beginning.
The final 60-40 Senate vote broke a grueling stalemate that lasted more than 6 weeks. The shutdown could last a few more days as members of the House, which has been on recess since mid-September, return to Washington to vote on the legislation.
Cities are really stepping up, sometimes being the first to respond to effects of the government shutdown. That's the message from the Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative. Larry Dabrowski is the city administrator in St. Charles. He says the city council has approved a no disconnect policy for November and December for people struggling to pay utility bills, also for people struggling to buy food.
Brought in 2 dump trucks from Public Works, put it on both ends of the main street. We have police on one end and fire on the other. Made a little competition, and in 2 hours, we were able to fill 2 dump trucks with donated food from the public.
Payments and missed paychecks will still take 10 days or more to go out even after the shutdown ends, warns one mayor.
Police finally showed up after the 3rd break-in at a church food pantry in Grand Center.
Carlton McKinney Jr. is the director of the 85-year-old food pantry at St. Luke's Memorial Missionary Baptist Church. He says on Tuesday the 4th, thieves broke a window and took most of the dry goods.
Now that day, it took 3 hours. No police officer showed up at all. Kept calling back like, hey, we got burglarized. Can we get somebody down here?
Then on Saturday, another window discovered broken. Most of the freezer meat was taken. Still no police came. Then on Sunday, the front door was smashed in and the rest of the freezers were emptied.
Finally, a police officer did come out and he was like, there's no reason why no one should have been out here the first time.
McKinney Jr. says most of the food had recently been purchased to bless the needy with a Thanksgiving meal. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
KMOX confirms police did file a report yesterday, but says the notes from initial 911 call say the caller canceled the request for police at that time.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. By the way, congratulations to Kelly from Crestwood picking up those tickets to the Musial Awards on Saturday, the 22nd at Stiefel Theater. I believe a few tickets are still available to purchase, so you can check that out, or your another chance to win is coming tomorrow.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Hey, your Money Minute at 7:35, sponsored by UC Bank. Let's get the latest from Bloomberg.
And this is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Futures are mixed after yesterday's rally on Wall Street, and shares of NVIDIA are down. Japan's SoftBank says it sold its entire stake in the chipmaker. It's pocketing $5.8 billion ahead of a rash of planned investments. Paramount Skydance has reported financial results for the first time since a new investor group took over the media company in August. It reported revenue below forecasts. The company says it plans an additional 1,600-person workforce reduction and a goal to achieve at least $3 billion in cost savings. Shares of CoreWeave are down. The data center operator lowering its annual revenue forecast due to a delay fulfilling a customer contract. CoreWeave shares have more than doubled this year. And it's the end of an era for one of business's most watched icons. 95-year-old Warren Buffett says he intends to step up the pace of his donations while he's still alive and will be, quote, going quiet. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Our Idea is Ready to Launch vision.
This is the Create Great Jobs vision. This is the We Need More Space vision. This is Busey, where your business visions become realizations through securing capital for growth and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future, because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Many families in Missouri and Illinois live in freezing conditions. They can't afford utilities.
HeatUpStLouis.org has helped thousands. 100% of public donations help neighbors stay warm.
Please help HeatUpStLouis.org.
Many families in our region are living paycheck to paycheck, or others may be seniors or disabled neighbors on fixed incomes. Please drop off a check payable to Heat Up St. Louis to any Commerce Bank associate. Thank you.
The Missouri Athletic Club, mac-stl.org, to learn about the Jack Buck Awards and its great history. It goes back to 1970 when Mr. Buck decided to start a banquet to honor St. Louis sports and all of its great personalities. In fact, they created the Sports Personality of the Year Award, and Bob Gibson won the first one. That's appropriate, in 1970. Now, that event continues each and every year. It's always broadcast on KMOX. It has gotten a lot of attention, and now they have their lineup to announce. Jordan Bennington has won Sports Personality of the Year. This is mostly because of his great accomplishments at the Four Nations Face-Off, winning it for Canada, taking the Blues, they were red hot after that, to the playoffs and losing in 7 games in the first round, unfortunately. But a nice year for Benner. This year hasn't really gone the Blues' way, but I'm certain by the time December 8th rolls around, there'll be some good things to talk about. Anyway, the rest of the lineup, Maddie DiMaria, National Player of the Year in soccer. She is a high school player at Koryezu, will be receiving the Carl O. Bauer Award. The Jack Buck Award for years of dedication to St. Louis is John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals. The Burns Bragg Award, promoting St. Louis through sports, goes to Billiken broadcasters Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr. And the Legends Award for Cardinals quarterback Jim Hart, one of the best of all time. The David Freese Hometown Hero Award, the only one on this list who can't make it, and he's a little busy these days, Jason Tatum of the Celtics, who is going to be delivering a video of thanks to the members of the club. And there is much more planned as well. It's December 8th, Missouri Athletic Club, and we can't wait. It'll be right here on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri offers free, confidential support wherever you are. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 and connect with a local crisis counselor today. From Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Fridays mean football. From a zoo to the NFL, we've got your weekend covered.
All three, ready?
It's Friday football on KMOX.
Checking traffic at this hour, just take a little look around. We have some volume 270 northbound, and pretty much at this point from 55 all the way up to 64, just a slow go, not too much of a backup, but a bit of a backup right now because of an accident just to the north of 55 on 270. That's going to cause a backup extending, it looks like, the on-ramp from northbound 55 onto 270. Just to the north of that is where that accident has taken place. So we'll watch for that as well. A couple of other areas in South County to be paying attention to. Looking like we've got another one right around Lindbergh High School back up in Sappington. Otherwise, you're smooth sailing right now at 741.
let's get a check of that weather because this morning it is downright cold out there. That wind chill is making things feel a lot colder than the actual temperature, which is 29 degrees. But our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg, is joining us to let you know that you will not need the winter coat, hat, and gloves as we head through this week.
No, we will not. In fact, there's going to be a decided turnaround from the start of the day to the end of the day today. A lot of clouds right now. They'll thin with time, and the afternoon gets brighter and brighter. And as the breeze freshens out of the south and southwest, we'll warm to 57. Tonight will be clear and chilly with a low of 36 to 40. But then with sunshine tomorrow, we bounce all the way up into the mid-60s. And I think we'll do that again on Thursday, even though there'll be a lot more high clouds around than sunshine. Friday, we could challenge a record. That's 81 from 1971. We're forecasting 78 under mostly sunny skies, and I think we're going to do it again on Saturday. Mostly sunny, breezy, and warm, the high near 80. Right now, it's 32 in St. Peter's. It's 33 in Florissant. Mostly cloudy, 31 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sports coming your way in 2 minutes at 7:43. The Senate has passed legislation in a 60-40 vote to reopen the government, potentially ending the longest shutdown in history as Republicans agreed to debate health care tax credits with Democrats in mid-December. The bill now heads to the House of Representatives for a vote.
The funding package includes continuation of the SNAP food program, the full payments for which the Supreme Court is expected to rule on today following intense legal battles, coincides with increasing travel chaos as the FAA has ordered airlines to drop 6% of flights at 40 major airports due to air traffic controller shortages, adding to frustrations already heightened by recent weather-related cancellations.
It was a yes vote by Illinois' retiring U.S. Senator Dick Durbin, and that is uniting the three top Democrats running for his seat. Political editor Jeff Buchholz reports from Chicago.
Congresswoman Robin Kelly, Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy, and Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton all want to succeed Dick Durbin, and all three are in agreement. The bill that's now up for consideration after Durbin's vote to open debate is a bad idea. Kelly says the deal abandons millions of people. Krishnamurthy says, and this is a quote, "The ability of the American people to afford health care must not depend on Donald Trump keeping his word." And Stratton says health care cannot, in her words, be the trade-off for resuming government operations. Governor Pritzker calls the bill an empty promise. Durbin's Senate colleague Tammy Duckworth says this is the time, as she puts it, to keep fighting to protect the American people.
It's never been free to use a debit or credit card to make a purchase, but the cost has often been absorbed by the merchant. But many businesses are more often passing those costs on now to the customer in the form of an extra fee charged each time a customer uses debit or credit cards to buy products, to eat out, or pay for services. Jackson Hadaway with the Missouri Bankers Association says the fees are also used to help maintain security safeguards in using those debit and credit cards.
The end goal is to make sure the consumer is safe. And I think all industries align on the idea that the U.S. has to remain the safest financial system in the world.
The credit and debit card user fees found at the bottom of a receipt can range from 2 to 3%.
Before we get to the hottest team in St. Louis, the St. Louis Billikens, let's get to one of the coldest, if not the coldest, and that would be the St. Louis Blues. Something is wrong there. They have not been able to get out of the cellar in the Central Division, although they had a little fun yesterday at practice, just trying to raise the energy level. Jim Montgomery allowed some music, and he said that Jake Neighbors played DJ and was playing some old school rock. Montgomery liked that, said Neighbors is an old soul. And here's what he had to say about the rest of practice.
Because when I asked him this morning, he had a big smile on his face, and he took it seriously. He was nervous about it. A lot of people told me he had felt a lot of pressure.
Talking about Neighbors there in the selection of music.
Okay, just for initial. Yeah. He's still like. If you're asking a timeline, I still don't have a timeline because there's a lot of steps to hurdle. Like he's past the first step, and there's probably 6.
Still a few weeks until they reevaluate Neighbors and his injury. Here's a little bit more of Monty.
Energy, physicality, attitude. Plus, he has a lot of confidence and poise with the puck. You know, for someone who's, that I don't think people would describe him that way as this type of player.
I think he talked in preseason that he's relatively new to playing defense. He was a forward for most of his junior career, I guess. do you see, I guess, some aspects where that transition is maybe not apparent, but you can see some different skill sets in it?
Yeah, it would make sense why he has a little more poise in close, tight spaces, and probably why he's a little riskier than most defensemen in tight spaces.
They're trying to find whatever they can in shuffling this roster around, getting ready for Calgary tonight, 7 o'clock face-off at Enterprise Center. Meanwhile, the Billikens are rolling right now, and I mean rolling. They won their first game 92-67 over Southeast Missouri State, same team that almost knocked off Mizzou. SEMO lost that game by just 5 points. Then SLU turned around and put 108 points on Chicago State in a fast-paced game that saw the Billikens win 108-86. And yesterday, they walked into their arena and they dropped the hammer on Lindenwood.
6:38 St. Louis. Robbie wants to answer back. Bang! Robbie Avila with the tray. Robbie going back to back. Tried to beat him into the front court, couldn't, and it scoops it up for Kellen Thames. Flight 0, takeoff, jam time! Did he go reverse? He went reverse? Well, he went up with the left hand and kind of spun as he got there.
Bob Ramsey, Earl Austin Jr. with the call on KMOX. Billikens win 109-66 as they pick up the victory, and they have themselves a 3-0 record and 309 points through 3 games as the Billikens will host Grand Canyon. Things are going to get a little tougher for them on Saturday. Grand Canyon, a good one coming in a non-conference matchup at Chaifetz Arena. Also yesterday, it was SIUE losing at home to Indiana State, Josh Schertz's former team. Sycamores beat them 64-55. As for today, Arkansas State at Missouri State, 7 o'clock tip-off, and at 7:30 in Champaign, number 11 Texas Tech visiting number 14 Illinois. The Rookies of the Year announced in Major League Baseball yesterday as these awards begin to be handed out, and Major League Baseball has announced athletic slugger Nick Kurtz as the AL winner. Kurtz was really good, 290 batting average, 36 home runs, 86 RBIs in just 117 games. Braves catcher Drake Baldwin, who filled in for Sean Murphy after Murphy cracked a rib in spring training, all he did was hit 274 with 19 home runs, 80 RBIs in 124 games. We'll also take a look at football here moving forward and who is the best team in the NFL. It's still up for question, but in the NFC, the Eagles have joined the Seahawks and Rams with 7-2 records. Eagles beat the Packers last night at Lambeau Field 10-7. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, just check the mail. We've been invited to a seminar and dinner is free.
It's going to be chicken, and it'll taste like Play-Doh.
Don't be fooled. All seminars are not the same. For example, Steve All, an investment advisor representative and founder of the All Financial Group, is hosting a taxes and retirement seminar at his office in Chesterfield on December 10th. Come meet Steve's newest advisor, Tracy Richardson, as she discusses the big beautiful bill, taxes on your Social Security, and more. Tracy will not only cover the hurdles you can face in retirement, but ways to keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. This is a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
You know, hon, I've always been interested in us buying a timeshare.
I'd rather eat Play-Doh.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Chesterfield Valley Nursery invites you to make your own live holiday decor this year in our Winter Planter class happening on November 22nd. Sign up today on our website or Facebook. Learn how to put together a live evergreen porch planter. Registration required. Spots fill up fast. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com. That's November 22nd. ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com to register.
This holiday season, the Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for the Holiday Food Drive. While supplies last, stop by any metro area Hardee's and make a donation of at least $1 to benefit Operation Food Search and receive a limited edition DGS holiday sticker. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. Get all the details about the campaign or to make an online donation, head to KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
From the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center, northbound 270. Looks like they've relieved whatever was blocking the road. An accident coming up from 55 heading to northbound 270. That has been relieved. Just a bit of a backup there. And then from 44 up through 64, really all the way up to Olive, you're going to find yourself stop and go traffic. A little bit of a slowdown there. 64, just a couple of spots, but it's westbound 64 right around Forest Park and again approaching Lindbergh. Right now, we have a couple of spots here and there that are causing backups, but that's really the most of it from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Taking a look at that weather, just have to get through today. It's cold out there right now because it's really breezy. But we will have some sunshine and it's going to warm up to 57 today. Then it just gets warmer. So tomorrow and Thursday, we're looking at sunshine with a high of 65 degrees. Then Friday, 78. Saturday, mostly sunny near 80. That could tie or break a record. So just hang in there because right now it is 32 degrees, but it feels like 18 downtown.
Boeing has made a new offer to striking IAM 837 members. The aerospace giant is now offering $6,000 bonus money up front. Union leadership recommends accepting the deal. Paid holidays at new higher contract rates. Service and sick leave anniversary dates will not change. That $6,000 bonus is $3,000 more from the previous offer. The retention bonus was removed to provide more cash up front, and in the new offer, there is no change in progression and new pay enhancements, vacation, retirement, and health care. Voting is this Thursday from 8 until noon.
Emergency shelter is available at several locations in St. Louis again today to help those who are unhoused or whose homes were damaged or uninhabitable due to the May tornado. About 140 emergency shelter beds will be available until 9 this morning. If the temperatures remain below freezing in the morning, those emergency shelters will stay open until temps are above freezing. To be connected with a shelter and with transportation, call United Way at 211.
In a video, Illinois Governor candidate Darren Bailey is announcing his plan to stay in the race amid a family tragedy.
After a lot of prayer and reflection, Cindy and I have decided we're staying in this race for governor. Not for politics, but for every family trying to make it in a state that's lost its way. For every parent who dreams of a better future for their children.
On October 23rd, Bailey shared that 4 members of his family were killed in a helicopter crash. Bailey's son, Zachary, his wife, Kelsey, and 2 of their young children, 12-year-old Veda Rose and 7-year-old Samuel, killed in a helicopter accident in Montana. The Bailey's other 10-year-old grandson, Finn, was not aboard.
A breathing problem may contribute to extreme fatigue.
The study was published in the journal Frontiers in Medicine by Dr. Donna Mancini, a professor of cardiology at Mount Sinai Hospital.
Over 40% of the patients with chronic fatigue syndrome had evidence of dysfunctional breathing, and many of them also had evidence of hyperventilation.
She says retraining people's respiratory muscles could provide major relief for those with chronic fatigue syndrome. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Texas is suing popular gaming platform Roblox, alleging the company fails to protect children from sexual content. KMOX News spoke with Robbie Torney, Common Sense Media, who says one of the biggest risks is the chat function.
And when kids are chatting with strangers, other kids, potentially adults in these game experiences, the content filters can't really keep information, language, topics from coming through that chat and reaching children effectively.
Roblox has recently rolled out new controls for parents to try to restrict communication and access to content.
It is 7:56, and you are listening to Total Information AM.
The legendary Fast Eddie of Fast Eddie's Bon Air and Redbirds Hall of Famer, Jason Isringhausen.
Hey, Izzy, what's going on, man? Looks kind of like you got something on your mind.
Well, Eddie boy, I'm thinking you may need to change the name of your place from Fast Eddie's to $5 Eddie's.
$5 Eddie's? Man, why in the world would I call it $5 Eddie's?
Well, I was in there the other day and bought myself the coldest beer I've ever had in my life, and I gave the guy $5. And then I went over and got some of those huge cold water peel and eat shrimps, and I gave her $5.
Well, I never really thought about that. There's a lot of $5 going on in there.
And then I went back up and got one of those huge Fast Eddie cheeseburgers, and I gave them $5 again.
Man, definitely has a ring to it. I think there's a lot of $5 going on.
Yeah, and I had about $100 worth of good time.
Well, that's good to hear, and it's easy to do with live music 7 days a week and a big old party going on that big, beautiful outdoor patio.
Well, like Mr. Shannon always says, if you're 21 and in the mood, head on over to Fast Eddie's Bon Air in Alton, Illinois, and maybe take a selfie on that old Harley Davidson of mine.
Who else has got a Cardinal Hall of Famer's Harley Davidson sitting out on the patio for some selfies?
Only Eddie boy.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
It is 7:59, and the traffic is very light today because we have Veterans Day, and most of you are off. But coming up, we have CBS Eye on Veterans, honoring the memory of an Army combat veteran who fought to help others with traumatic brain injuries. That's on the way on Total Information AM with Megan Lynch. It may be worth it to appeal your property assessment. We'll get you some tips on that from Bankrate.
We'll also take a look at what air traffic controllers face. Hear that firsthand next hour.
A local dietitian talks about the dangers of trusting ChatGPT with information about eating disorders.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. For Veterans Day, clouds and some sun at times. It'll become breezy and milder this afternoon, high 57.
I'll be back for the Gas House Gang with Chris Ranji at noon.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A bill to end the government shutdown is finally headed to the House after 7 Democrats and an independent crossed party lines to vote in favor. Among them, Pennsylvania's John Fetterman. He tells CBS Mornings,
I want to make healthcare more affordable for Obamacare, but I also think that our government should never be held as a hostage, whether it's a Republican or whether it's a Democrat. It's always wrong.
Correspondent Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
President Trump said the bill is a good deal and he'll abide by it. He also said he's talking with Republicans about a potential health care fix, but hasn't offered many details. The Senate is expected to take up that issue next month.
The House could vote on ending the shutdown as soon as tomorrow. And it's still a mess at U.S. airports. Until the shutdown is officially over, it's expected to get worse. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve is at the airport in Phoenix.
Millions of people are still flying. Last night we counted at least 18 FAA facilities reporting staffing shortfalls. So the staffing woes continue. Cancellations and delays remain high, but they were better than Sunday, the worst travel day of this shutdown for flyers.
6% of flights at 40 of the busiest airports will be cut today, and that number goes up to 10% by Friday. The BBC has until Friday to respond to President Trump's threat of $1 billion lawsuit.
The BBC doesn't dispute that a soundbite in a documentary on the storming of the Capitol was edited in a way that seemed to have President Trump explicitly inciting violence. So why did it take months to acknowledge and apologize?
Now, in hindsight,
BBC Chairman Samir Shah.
It would have been better to have acted earlier.
Profound understatement.
But we didn't.
And that could prove to be one of a number of costly mistakes. BBC lawyers now feverishly working on a response to Trump's threatened lawsuit. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
People in the southeast are digging out their winter coats. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
There is a cold weather advisory in effect. This includes even southern portions of Alabama, south and southeast sections of Georgia, and even along the coastline. And in Florida, the cold weather advisory includes cities like Jacksonville, Gainesville, all the way through Tampa, down beyond Orlando.
They're still cleaning up after a severe snowstorm in the Great Lakes region. Parts of northern Indiana got more than a foot. The Mega Millions jackpot is soaring. Tonight's jackpot has swelled to $900 million. That's the highest, that's the largest ever. The current record, $1.6 billion, was in August of 2023. This is CBS News.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
At 8:03, we have cloudy skies, 34 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, November 11th, Veterans Day, and Megan Lynch. There's a new modified offer from Boeing on the table for members of the machinists, and the union negotiating committee is recommending accepting that offer.
The vote will be this Thursday from 8 until noon. This is what's different about this offer. Boeing offering $6,000 bonus money up front. That's $3,000 more than before. Service and sick leave anniversary dates will not change, but paid holidays will and will be at a new higher contract rate. This new offer, like the other, does not have changes in progression, new pay enhancements, vacation, retirement, or health care. The retention bonus was removed in order to provide more cash up front. Union members can vote at IAM District 9 Hall on the Rock Road and the Mascoutah headquarters on Hayden Drive. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
As many as 300,000 people are eligible for money from the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. Families who have had loved ones get sick or die from radioactive waste in St. Louis County. So far, only about 1% of those eligible have applied. The co-founder of Just Moms STL, the group that fought for RECA funds for years, says many people don't trust the government or don't think the funds are real. Dawn Chapman says she's worked with about 15 families who got either $50,000 or $25,000 directly deposited into their bank accounts even during the government shutdown. The deadline to file is December 2027. A church's food pantry in Grand Center was broken into not once, not twice, but 3 times.
This is Stuart McMillan.
When I called back, I'm like, hey, this is the third time we've been burglarized in a week.
I spoke with Carlton McKinney Jr., running an 85-year-old food pantry at St. Luke's Memorial Missionary Baptist Church. On Tuesday the 4th, thieves broke a window and took most of the dry goods. 911 was called, but no St. Louis City officers came. On Saturday, another window was broken. Most of the freezers emptied. Still no police came. Sunday, an officer finally arrived after the front door had been smashed in.
Well, as I'm calling the police, as I'm pulling up to the building, the door was shattered. And I was like, oh my God, they came in. This was full of clothes.
The donated food was supposed to be handed out to the needy this Saturday, but it was all taken. McKinney says any donations coming in now are going to be stored secretly.
KMOX confirms the St. Louis City Police Department did file a report yesterday, but say the notes from the initial 911 call say the caller canceled the request for police at that time. St. Charles City receiving a 53-foot-long truckload of food to give to area food banks. The timing couldn't be better.
Pastor Kobe Boyd with Palter's Food Pantry in St. Charles says the delivery of this food could not come soon enough as the suspension of SNAP benefits has really put a strain on their operation.
In the last 2 weeks, we've had 60 new families sign up. So this food that we've received from the city has been an answer to prayer and a blessing.
He says in a typical week, they get about 5 to 10 new families that sign up, but that was before the shutdown. In St. Charles, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
182 McDonald's locations across the bi-state offering all veterans and active duty military a free meal today. All St. Louis City locations are offering a free extra value meal all day, while some further out like St. Charles, Arnold, and Washington are offering a free breakfast extra value meal. The Afton School District's top administrator has been named the Missouri Superintendent of the Year. Travis Brock says he views the award as having been won by the district.
I really do view this as a recognition for the school district, teachers, staff, and community, and I'm happy to accept that on their behalf.
The award was presented by the Missouri Association of Administrators. Brock is now nominated for the nationwide award. From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Many shoppers regularly use credit and debit cards when buying products, eating out, or paying for services. Sometimes they may notice a 2 or 3% fee for that purchase. Jackson Hadaway, CEO of the Missouri Bankers Association, says they're known as interchange or convenience fees.
If you see a convenience fee on the bottom of your receipt, when you swipe at the mechanic shop or the grocery store or the restaurant, that money's not going to the bank or the credit card company. That is going to the merchant at whom you have now swiped your card. They are implementing that fee by their own choice to cover their costs.
That is the business's cost of accepting credit and debit cards. Some larger companies absorb the fees and don't pass them on to their customers, but many do. Hadaway tells MissouriNet the fees are used to pay to maintain security safeguards in using debit and credit cards. It's now 8:08. We'll check the forecast coming up in 2 minutes.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
All righty, we're getting ready to come into winter here where we're going to be using our furnaces. A lot of you are getting prices now, or you're getting your furnaces checked and you're being told that you have an issue with your furnace and you need a new furnace. So if that is the case and you want a very simple common sense approach to picking a furnace, if that's the case, I'd appreciate you calling and giving me a chance to meet with you and discuss your options. So call me. It's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. Just one number. Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or on the web is bartinman.com. Now there's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Coming up on Total Information AM, we are going to have a tribute to a veteran who changed things for other servicemen and women who suffered traumatic brain injury. We're going to have a segment from CBS's Eye on Veterans with Phil Briggs coming up in just a moment. First, though, let's get a check of that forecast for your Veterans Day.
A cold start to our Veterans Day holiday. We'll see clouds and some sun at times. It'll become breezy and not nearly so cold for the afternoon, high 57. Mainly clear, chilly tonight, though 36 to 40. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant and turning milder, high 65. On Thursday, sunshine through some high clouds, the high temperature 65. Much warmer Friday and Saturday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, we have 34 degrees under cloudy skies in downtown St. Louis. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. CBS Eye on Veterans recently honored one of the most influential veterans of the post 9/11 era, Army combat veteran Boone Cutler. Cutler died in September of health complications connected to his military service. He suffered traumatic brain injury and blast injuries. He created the Spartan Pledge for veterans considering suicide. It's a vow encouraging veterans to promise they'll reach out to a battle buddy before considering taking their own lives. Cutler spoke with CBS Eye on Veterans host Phil Briggs about his fight against the overprescribing of medications, something he called the combat cocktail.
I checked myself into the VA and I said, I'm not taking any of the drugs. And they're saying, you have to. I mean, literally, here we go again. Here we go again. They're like, well, you have to. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, no, you have to. You're going to go crazy, was basically the sentiment. And I was like, cool, let's go crazy. The door's locked. I can't get out. Let's go crazy. If I'm going to go crazy, this is the place to do it. Let's go crazy. So I stopped all the drugs. And in 17 days, I was off all the drugs. And I was better. I didn't have that constant draw to suicide or violence or things like that. I was just flat out better. I still couldn't sleep. I still had chronic pain. I still had those things, and I had to figure out how to deal with those things off of the medical paradigm I had been put on.
And you were dealing with Parkinson's.
And I was dealing with undiagnosed Parkinson's at the same time.
Jesus.
And so, and again, people don't understand the psychological aspect of that. And something I've never spoke about, but I think it's important in this context. Not only did I have Parkinson's, but my TBI also had resulted in dementia. And so I was dealing with the effects of dementia. I was dealing with the effects of, the physical and psychological effects of Parkinson's. And when I talked to, there should be a campaign out there called Resulting in What? And I've talked about this publicly. A lot of guys say, oh, I have TBI, I have TBI, I have TBI. I hear it all the time. And I say, okay, resulting in what? And they all go, huh? They don't even know because it's not there. They haven't been explained. I found out through a long, long road that my TBI, traumatic brain injury, every traumatic brain injury results in something, results in a condition. Nobody knows what conditions they have. Someone just told them, oh, you have TBI. And they signed it off and everyone, okay, well, I know what's wrong. I have TBI. No, you have TBI that results in dementia. You have TBI that results in central sleep apnea. You have TBI that results in Parkinson's. You don't just have TBI. It's like saying someone has cancer. Oh, you have cancer. Okay, thanks. But, there's a big difference between skin cancer on your forehead and pancreatic cancer. Right. You can't just say someone has cancer.
It's not a single domino.
No. And I think a lot of the reason guys kill themselves is, one, they don't understand that their traumatic brain injury resulted in something for which there is care for and for which there is a way to intellectualize your condition, which will make you better. It's not just this black cloud called TBI and, by the way, you're screwed. It's not that. And I don't understand why nobody applies this. I'm talking to you. I'm looking at your face going, aha, that makes so much sense. But it's never brought up. Nobody knows what their TBI has resulted in. And because of that, they go nuts and they kill themselves. Double down with a little bit of PTSD, throw some drugs on top of it, baby, it's over.
Now, over the years, Boone advocated for a variety of treatments to help veterans. He tried stem cell therapy, which did miraculous things for him. But in his first year after the Army and leaving Walter Reed, he discovered something that Congress still has yet to fully address: cannabis.
I like to train. I like to work out. I just saw that as something that would get in the way of that, and it wasn't my thing, And so it just really didn't dawn on me. I got out of the hospital after 17 days. I was off of the drugs. I was still dealing with chronic pain. I was still dealing with insomnia. But because there was someone who came to me and said, hey, you look like hell. And I said, yeah, I can't sleep.
It was like a coworker or something.
It was a coworker. It was like a teenage coworker. Dude, you look like hell, man. What's up? Just like that. And I was like, I can't sleep. And he says, dude, why don't you just smoke pot? Literally, that's a quote. Simple as hell. And I was like, dude, just get away. I'm not that guy. I'm not a pot guy. I'm not a stoner. I don't get high, just like whatever. That night I didn't sleep again, but I had the opportunity to review and go, what haven't I tried? I've done every drug, every modality. I've got up in the morning and watched the sunrise to set my circadian rhythm. I mean, I've done every holistic. I've tried everything. I just flat out can't sleep. I go to sleep. It's night sweats, it's explosions, it's insomnia, it's really bad visuals, and this would happen every night. I used cannabis. I realized a couple things. One, I can't obsess about a thought. Intrusive thought happens, intrusive thought gone. Okay. It calmed me down. It put me to sleep. I slept 5 hours first night. I thought it must be a fluke. How I got the cannabis is after I reviewed my life, I went to him the next day. I said, okay, give me some weed. That night I slept 5 hours. It must be a fluke. There's no way this can happen again. Next night I went to sleep, slept 5 hours again. I hadn't slept 5 straight hours in 5 years at that point. So now it happened twice. And my whole thought was, I have been lied to. I have been so lied to. It has almost cost me everything, my life and more, several times over a number of years. I have been so lied to.
And it didn't take a psychiatrist or a major or...
Dude, why don't you just smoke pot? And that was it.
Now, I witnessed over the years Boone go on to preach his message to lawmakers in Congress many times. And after using cannabis, undergoing stem cell therapy, and becoming one of America's leading veteran advocates, he created a simple but effective way for veterans to address the growing suicide epidemic, the Spartan Pledge. So we'll wrap this hour where we began, in the Red Dog Saloon in Nevada, where he described the Spartan Pledge, which as of today has helped countless veterans get through dark moments and get back on the road to brighter days.
The Spartan Pledge is a battle drill. It's what to do when you don't know what to do, because that's what a battle drill is. When you get shot at, there's a battle drill. When there's incoming, there's a battle drill. It goes on and on. So I basically just wrote a battle drill based upon the mentality of a warrior. And that's why it saved lives. Because it's what we already know. We're just employing it.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally employing something that's written into their, I don't want to say DNA, but it's like...
It's written into their code. So
it's something they embrace so much.
It's written in 2 sentences. I will not take my own life by my own hand, so I talk to my battle buddy first. That's the first sentence. The second sentence, because that's the short term, but you got to have a follow-up. What's the long term? How are we going to keep from getting in this place again? Well, again, a warfighter with a mission is a deadly warfighter. A warfighter without a mission is a dead warfighter. So the second sentence, it's only 2 sentences.
Yeah.
My mission is to find a mission to help my warfighter family. Now, that does a couple things. One, it reestablishes mission and reestablishes the group. Because if you're doing something for your warfighter family, you're back into the community. So we establish the group, we establish the mission, we establish the battle drill. With those 3 things, people live. And because it's a pledge they take with each other, the last thing any warfighter will do is let their battle buddy down.
That is Army combat veteran, the late Boone Cutler, featured with CBS Ion Veterans host Phil Briggs. Still ahead on Total Information AM this hour, it may be worth it to appeal your property assessment. We're going to get some tips from Bankrate coming up next. Plus, what are air traffic controllers facing here firsthand? And a local dietitian will talk about the dangers of trusting ChatGPT with information about eating disorders. It's now 8:20. Checking that forecast for today, it looks like it's going to be mostly cloudy today. Breezy, not as cold this afternoon, though, as it was yesterday. Expect a high around 57 degrees. Clear and chilly tonight with an overnight low around 40. Tomorrow, pleasant with plenty of sunshine, a high 65. And then another nice day on Thursday, sun with variably cloudy skies, a high of 65. Friday, more sun than clouds. Much warmer. We could reach a high of 78, which would be pretty close to a record of 81 set in 1971. And then for Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm with a high near 80. Right now, we have cloudy skies, 34 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It's Tom Ackerman, Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. Your premier Genesis dealer, Genesis of St. Charles. Now is the time to visit. It's the signature event at Genesis of St. Charles. They want your trade, and they're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase. No games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing. Unlock the e-price today by going to genesisofstcharles.com, and you'll find that every purchase, every one, comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Let me tell you, luxurious service at their state-of-the-art facility, 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. It's Genesis of St. Charles. You can get started online at genesisofstcharles.com, but I do highly recommend that you come into the dealership. It's fantastic. genesisofstcharles.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Welcome back to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. We would all love to have lower property taxes, and there may be something that you can do about that. Bankrate home lending expert Linda Bell says it may be worth a challenge of your assessment. Linda, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Is this something that homeowners can typically do on their own, or do they need professional help to appeal property assessments?
Now, you can go either way, right? Nobody says that you can't DIY your property tax appeal on your own. It might take a little bit of effort, but you do have to kind of review your assessment, gather evidence, use that all together to put together a clear case. But it's certainly doable. Like many homeowners can successfully do it on their own without hiring someone. But if this feels overwhelming for you and you think, I can't do all this stuff myself, there are companies that can help. They usually only charge a fee if they succeed in lowering your tax bill. So there are two options there in that way.
What kinds of things make a difference in your home's value compared to the other properties that might be used by an assessor to set values?
Well, it's important that you do two things. First, you need to look at your property tax assessment bill and kind of look at it, or I shouldn't call it a bill. You should look at the property tax assessment document and see first, are there any mistakes in this assessment? Like you can review your property record card. It's basically the report card for your home. It lists details like the square footage, the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. Look closely for errors, because it's one thing if you see that they say you have 5 bedrooms and you only have 3, and that error can cause them to assess your home poorly, which is why you should definitely take a look at that. Also, if your home needs repairs, you shouldn't be afraid to show them that, right? We're not talking about the 1980s kitchen that you may have, but if you have like a leaky roof or an outdated plumbing, that's all relevant evidence that your home isn't worth as much as the county thinks. So it's important to keep those in mind. And you should also, I should mention, take a look at how your house compares to similar homes. You need to look at recent sales, comparable homes in your neighborhood, ones that have a similar age, style, size. If you see that those homes are valued lower than yours, that could be a strong case that you have for appealing your property taxes.
What overall information does a homeowner have to gather in order to appeal?
Well, it's important that you get that property tax assessment and then take pictures, right? So taking pictures of your home and showing that it's not the home that they think it is and that you need repairs. It's important to keep that in mind. Have like repair estimates and things like that on your home. To paint a realistic picture of your home's condition. If you have like a leaky roof or outdated plumbing, you want to make sure that you show that in the assessment that they gave to you, that you show your home is not worth what they think it is.
I know it's probably will depend homeowner to homeowner, but potentially how much can most homeowners save if they do try to get their property taxes lowered?
Well, we do have a recent report from Realtor.com that shows that more than 40% of homes are overvalued. And that means homeowners could save about $100 a year, if not even more, really depending on where you live, by just filing an appeal. So there's, it certainly might not, some homeowners might think that it's not worth the effort that you do to kind of go and appeal your property taxes, but it can certainly add up. I mean, property taxes are soaring for homeowners across the country. We did a survey, a study earlier this year that shows the average homeowner faces about $21,000 a year in hidden costs, and property taxes are a big portion of that. So you should definitely appeal when you can.
That is Bankrate home lending expert Linda Bell. Linda, thanks so much.
All right, my pleasure.
Still ahead on Total Information AM, President Trump is asking air traffic controllers to get back to work. He's calling for a bonus for some and suggesting docking pay for those who have called out sick. We're going to get a firsthand look at what the stress is like for these air traffic controllers coming up in just a few moments here on KMOX. It's 8:27. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life, not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
1993.
There, when disaster hit.
June 27th, the Mississippi River rises above flood stage at St. Louis.
July 3rd, the Missouri River reaches flood stage for the second time and levees are starting to buckle.
This is Nan Wyatt in the KMOX Flood Center. Sandbaggers are still needed this afternoon.
Good morning. I'm Daryl Lloyd. We have a live update now from the KMOX Jetcopter 1, where Steve Shoemaker is flying over West Alton right now, the scene of a number of levee breaks recently. Steve?
There's a farmhouse I'm looking at and it's floating.
Those levees were never intended to protect against 49.6 feet.
We had the greatest natural disaster that's ever hit.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by the Polar Express at St. Louis Union Station. Get your tickets now at stlpolarexpressride.com.
The Polar Express is back in St. Louis. Book your magical trip before they sell out. Book a weekday trip in November and receive a complimentary ticket to ride the St. Louis Wheel. The Polar Express train is arriving at the St. Louis Union Station on November 14th, and you're invited to hop in. Start a journey towards the North Pole. Meet Santa Claus and his elves, and see STL from 200 feet up, and feel the magic of the Christmas story everybody loves. Book your trip at stlpolarexpressride.com. All aboard the Polar Express.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
This fall, get a taste of what's to come at Dragonstone, an exclusive new Lombardo Homes community in Darden Prairie, west of Highway K and south of 364. Join us Saturday, November 15th at our Inverness display in O'Fallon for a grand opening celebration filled with treats, a cozy coffee bar, mini pumpkin pies, and a first look. Dragonstone, building Tradition Series homes and offering only 5 spacious home sites. Dragonstone offers luxury and privacy, as well as the convenience of living just minutes from Highway 364 and 64. Visit lombardohomes.com for more information.
It's 8:31 from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. It looks like it's going to be a little bit warmer today, a high of 57. Clouds, a little bit of sun and breezy today as well. Clear and chilly tonight, an overnight low near 40. And then tomorrow, pleasant with plenty of sunshine, a high of 65. Right now, We have cloudy skies, 34 degrees downtown at the Arch. Air travelers should expect more cancellations and delays this week, even if the government shutdown ends. Air traffic controllers have been without pay for more than a month. Some have begun calling out of work, citing stress and the need to take on second jobs. President Donald Trump took to social media Monday to pressure controllers to, quote, get back to work now. He called for a $10,000 bonus for those who have stayed on the job and suggested docking pay for those who haven't. We'll get an inside look now at the job of roughly 13,000 controllers. Brendan Kesmayak was one himself until 2 years ago, serving 9 years in control towers.
A couple of years ago, the airlines and flight attendants unions across the country were all able to secure pretty substantial raises and working changes to their contracts as the perceived value of aviation professionals went up as more people traveled, as aviation and travel became more affordable. And air traffic controllers were, by virtue of being federal employees, the ones left out in the cold. So pay stagnated as inflation grew. Real pay now is worse than it was 20 years ago when adjusted for inflation, which is unconscionable. And it's made worse given the scope of the way aviation has changed over the last 5 to 6 years. So you take all that into account, and now you throw no pay into the mix. And not just no pay, but the pretty lousy working conditions, the mandatory overtime, the long hours, the compromises made to family life, which, at least for a time, was justified by being a pretty good career with a stable retirement and solid pay and benefits. And now all of those things are either outright out of the question or very much in question.
He confirms the job is extremely stressful.
In a job where you're asked to work rotating shifts, maybe a week of day shifts, followed by a week of night shifts, followed by a week of midnight shifts, or where you're changing shifts in the middle of the week and all of the familial compromises that come with that, or maybe you're low in seniority and your days off during the week are actually Wednesday and Thursday, and you don't have access to a social life or a personal life or a family life outside of the job hours and the job rotation. It's really difficult to strike that work-life balance. As the staffing situation has gotten worse, the first thing that happened was, now air traffic controllers are finding it more difficult to take leave and get that time off. A mental health day, as it were, becomes much, much harder to come by. And then it gets taken a step further as the staffing crisis continues. Not only are you not able to take time off, but you're being expected to work overtime. Maybe it's being held over 2 hours at the end of a shift here, or, coming in for a full day on one of your days off.
Kesmayak also explains that controllers have to have a medical certificate just below the level of an airline pilot, and that mental health or stress problems often go unreported.
You literally cannot work air traffic if you have been diagnosed with any sort of mental health condition. Now, not every appointment with a therapist or a counselor carries with it a diagnosis, but most insurance claims do require a diagnosis. And so when those things get reported, while reporting to the FAA is done by the controller, it is mandatory. So you're faced with either, okay, do I get help and tell the FAA about it and not be able to work? Do I get help and not tell the FAA about it and risk disciplinary action? Do I not seek mental health and pretend that everything's okay? Or do I just tough it out as long as I can and hope that my situation doesn't worsen?
Air traffic controllers have just missed a second full paycheck. It's now 8:35. We'll get a check of your money next.
Discover the life you want at Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. We deliver a life-enhancing environment that nourishes the mind, body, and spirit as residents lean into joy and embrace purpose in a new age of senior living. Simply put, we have your back so you can put your best foot forward. Join us Wednesday, December 3rd for our holiday craft fair, followed by happy hour with BB Boomers. Visit Fairwinds River's Edge on Facebook to learn more.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters.
Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
8:36, time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's John Tucker.
SoftBank Group sold its entire stake in NVIDIA. That was a surprise move. It has investors a little spooked this morning. SoftBank said it pocketed $5.8 billion through the sale of its NVIDIA stake, an announcement that came as investors questioned whether the tech-led rally in stocks has run too far. And this morning, futures indicate a mixed open on Wall Street. CoreWeave lowered its annual revenue forecast after suffering a delay fulfilling a customer contract. It's a setback for a company that's racing to keep up with the artificial intelligence boom. The firm rents out access to powerful AI chips. In one of the biggest cancer spending sprees in years, pharmaceutical giants are pouring billions of dollars into developing treatments linking old drugs together. The drugs aren't based on a breakthrough discovery. Instead, they combine versions of Keytruda and Avastin into a single treatment. They spent about $6 billion for the dual-acting drugs. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
One of the best ways to find out about 3-Day Kitchen and Bath is actually to hear the results for yourself. On the phone with us is Wendy in Darwin. Wendy, you got a brand new bathroom.
I do, and it's beautiful.
Are you loving it?
I am absolutely loving it.
Okay, tell me about your bathroom.
It went from a dark room that felt like an absolute cave when I walked into it to a bright, airy, opened the space up. I mean, I don't know what else. It's just absolutely wonderful.
She's almost speechless. So, Darwin, tell me about all the man stuff. How did it work? The quality, the convenience. How did they do?
Excellent. We contacted 3-Day Bath, and they got back to us the next day. The communication was excellent. They were on time in all their promises, and it's beautiful. It's a great bathroom.
Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely.
For more about your new kitchen or bath, visit 3daykitchen.com.
3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Missouri, get ready. FanDuel, which is America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. And starting December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. So from touchdowns to home runs to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. And with live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has already started, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. Just visit FanDuel.com/promo code to learn more. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/promo code. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
This month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, we are discussing breast cancer with Dr. Debbie Bennett.
It's a great reminder to take care of yourself. I think people are so busy throughout the year taking care of everybody else. Seeing all the pink around in October is a really excellent time to take a step back and make sure that you are here to continue taking care of everybody else for a very long time.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Boeing machinists in St. Louis have a new offer that's getting the thumbs up from union negotiating committee members. The vote is this Thursday. Air travelers could face more frustration as U.S. airports need to meet a higher FAA target for reducing flights as the week progresses. And international health experts say Canada is no longer measles-free because of ongoing outbreaks as childhood vaccination rates fall and the highly contagious virus spreads across North and South America. Thanks for for listening to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch, and joining me this morning, Michelle Wilson. She's a registered dietitian with Brands Nutrition. Michelle, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
One of the topics that we discuss a lot here on KMOX is generative AI, and especially the impact on youth and others who are using it to search for information. And obviously, that's led to a lot of people searching for information about diet and nutrition. And we've seen some studies come out about how ChatGPT in particular could be fueling eating disorders. What are you hearing in your practice about people searching, for information using these kind of AI chatbots?
Yeah, AI can definitely have its own limitations. What I'm hearing from my clients is if they're using ChatGPT or other AI platforms, is that they're providing the generic advice, but then if they go a secondary layer, then that's where things get a little bit more complicated. So for one, with the generic advice, it's not going to be individualized to the person. It's going to respond to the prompts that are given. But the secondary layer gets a little tricky. So when someone wants to clarify why something was suggested or how to modify something that was suggested, then it can manipulate the suggestions to be concerning. I have recently tested an AI generated eating disorder app, and I saw a lot of limitations with the AI portion of that as well.
That's very interesting you say that, because I think people are turning to some of these apps to get information, to get counseling, for example, for mental health. So it's not surprising there are dietary ones out there as well. One of the things that concerns me, and maybe this is something that you've heard on those secondary or follow-up searches, is that sometimes these AI chatbots will give answers that simply agree with what the person wants to try to please them and keep them there.
Yes, absolutely. The response is going to respond directly to what is being prompted. So if you tell an AI that you believe this is helpful or appropriate for you, that your doctor said this, that, or the other, then it's going to assume that that's accurate. And so if you provide misinformation or misleading information, then it will devolve from there.
So it's not really a great fact checker then.
No, not exactly. It's going to be able to provide information that's generally able to be searched through Google, but that has its own misinformation too if you don't know what you're looking for and you don't have the lens of a professional to be able to sift through what's evidence-based practice.
So we really shouldn't use AI chatbots for any type of diagnosis then?
Oh, absolutely not. We definitely need to refer to professionals for that.
What are some of the other limitations that you mentioned about both the app and any of these AI chatbots that people may search for information on?
The limitations with mental health are really concerning. It might refer you to a mental health professional as a generic response, but if someone's severely struggling or in a crisis, it might provide inappropriate information or even give tips and tricks on ways to engage in behaviors further. So someone needs to be able to reach out to a professional that can help them rather than relying on a program that is not going to be programmed by a professional in that field, and they won't get the help that they need.
Why do you think people are trusting these tools?
I think that the reason I'm seeing some people leaning in that direction is they don't always have access to the care that they need. Or maybe even the timing that they need it. We don't have a lot of funding for nonprofit organizations to have 24/7 support and access. And people are wanting to reach out and get help. And maybe there's even a shame component too. There could be an aspect of AI that reduces down that feeling that someone is there in person and having their own personal biases against you. And so I understand why people would want to go that direction. And there's no shame in struggling with an eating disorder or having mental health illness or even just wanting information. I just feel like it would be best for the individual to reach out to a professional for that. So that way they can get evidence-based information and also the help that they need.
Do you think part of the problem is that there still are probably a lot of misunderstandings about eating disorders?
Absolutely. There's tons of myths about eating disorders. One being that the main one is anorexia. The leading eating disorder is actually binge eating disorder. So there are a lot of myths and stigmas about eating disorders, and that can lead to a lot of shame. But whenever someone is able to reach out to a professional and understand where all of this misinformation might have come from or what led to their eating disorder, it can really help reduce down the shame and stigma.
What are some red flags for someone that they might have an eating disorder?
The stress or distress that food can cause. Food, movement, and body image are the main categories that I work with people. So if there is compensatory, compulsive, excessive, or avoidant movement, if there's a lot of body checking or mirror checking or pinching their body that's happening, and eating disorder behaviors that might include restriction, binging, purging, and even just having a lot of distress related to choosing food options.
How do you find a good professional to help you?
That's an excellent question. So there's definitely some general websites that can be helpful. So NEDA, National Eating Disorder Association, is a great resource. And then we have local eating disorder professionals as well. IADEP is the International Association of Eating Disorder Professionals. So you can search through that for people who are certified eating disorder specialists. But my group of people at Brands Nutrition Counseling definitely can help out.
That is Michelle Wilson, registered dietitian with Brands Nutrition Counseling. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up next on Total Information AM, Great Rivers Greenway just marked its 25th anniversary, and they have plenty more projects on the way, and you can take part in a panel discussion this week. We'll have more on that coming up next.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. In September, House Republicans passed a bill to keep the government open by extending funding at current levels. Now Washington liberals are holding the American people hostage. They shut down your government and are demanding Medicaid for illegal aliens and funding for woke projects, which would cost taxpayers $1.5 trillion. Now federal workers are missing paychecks. That's unacceptable. Throughout the shutdown, our offices will remain open to help you, our constituents. Go to onder.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM this morning. I'm Megan Lynch. Great Rivers Greenway celebrating 25 years and looking ahead to some new projects. And you can have a front row seat at a discussion this Thursday. Emma Clues, Vice President of Communications and Outreach for Great Rivers Greenway, joins me now on the air. Good morning, Emma.
Good morning, Megan.
Let's take us back to that 25 years ago. How did Great Rivers get its start?
Yes, so there was a civic effort in the 90s called St. Louis 2004, and they really did an immense amount of civic engagement, asking the community, what is the legacy of our time? Thinking about St. Louis in 1904 was quite a big deal on the world stage, and so looking forward to 2004. And some of the answers were parks, greenways, trails, and connecting the community together. So the voters created this in the year 2000 in November, as you said, 25th anniversary in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and St. Charles County.
How many miles of trails and greenways are now part of this network?
We have 140 miles and counting, and these are paved pathways where you can walk, run, push a stroller, roll a wheelchair, ride a bicycle.
I think people don't understand, if they have not seen some of these trails, really how thought out these are and how beautiful they are to walk through.
Well, thank you. I think so too. They really are more than just a trail. So these are, again, these paved, accessible pathways, but they also have the conservation projects along the way to help our habitats. They have the amenities that you need, like, restrooms, drinking fountains, bike racks, and then connections to all these destinations. St. Louis has so many cool things, and we're just trying to connect them all together, whether that's, a place to visit, your work, school, place of worship, transit, you name it. We want to connect you to it.
How do these link communities in our region?
Yeah, so if you think about St. Louis, the region that we're serving is 1,200 square miles, St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and St. Charles County. And I always say, it's just 120 towns. No big deal. Just getting everybody together. And so it's so fascinating to me because sometimes we'll build a project that's maybe 4 miles long, but it might go through 3 different towns or 7 different neighborhoods. And the greenways transcend all of those barriers and boundaries and really connect folks together to get around in a different way. The example I like to use is if you're maybe checking out an exhibit at the Missouri History Museum in Forest Park and you want to go next to maybe a show at the Two Hill at UMSL's campus, you probably are thinking about getting on a couple highways to get there. But the St. Vincent Greenway, when it's finished, will connect you in just about 6 miles. It's really not that far away. But, people don't always think about going as the crow flies, so to speak. So we're excited to have these new connections so that people can really explore and enjoy everything that our region has to offer.
I see that plans call for 8 new bridges along the network. Talk about where these will be located.
Yeah, these are all over the region. So we just happen to have so many different bridges all happening at once, which is exciting. Some of these are, just over a creek. Some of these are crossing a major river or perhaps a highway. The ones that are coming up first in construction are Darden Greenway in St. Charles County with the city of St. Peters. And this is north of Mexico Road where the Darden Greenway currently ends. So we're expanding that north. There's also the Merrimack Greenway, which is connecting to previously disconnected parts of Route 66 State Park out in Eureka. And then some of the other projects are in Brickon Greenway is in the city of St. Louis. So this is creating a bridge that goes in between the 2 decks of 6440 where Spring Street is. So between City Foundry and the Grand Metrolink station to be able to bridge through and connect to that transit stop. So those are just a couple of examples, but they're all over the region and really exciting to see an ability to create connections where they weren't there before.
How much is safety and access considered when you're planning these new routes?
Yeah, those are both huge. So, safety can mean so many different things. So for some, safety is a smooth paved path where they can, get their wheelchair out there safely. For some, safety is about lighting or, presence of other people and making sure that they feel physically safe. And so we talk to communities. Everything that we do is from community engagement. And so we really like to hear from people about what safety means to them and what's important in that area, and then plan those projects accordingly. So access is huge, whether that be, a little spur into the neighborhood where someone could be able to get on the Greenway, or the literal sort of accessibility and making sure that we have, the right ramps and the right grade and nothing is too steep for somebody that not only in a wheelchair, but also a walker or just even a stroller.
You mentioned public engagement, and you do have the panel discussion coming up this Thursday. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the panel discussion is a partnership with Focus St. Louis and St. Louis County Libraries. It's at the Clark Family Branch, and we're excited to hear from both local and national experts about how greenways can really have a huge civic impact on not just our region, but other regions as well. Again, we'll have some of those national experts to provide that expertise. So beyond the basics, you can go outside and get fresh air and get exercise and use them to get around, really talking about what it means to build civic trust through a transparent process and engaging people in, how their tax dollars are getting used, what it means to create collaboration and sort of build the collaboration muscle in our region as well. All kinds of those topics that are a little bit beyond just the day-to-day use, but really how they impact the civic health of a region.
You've got something else coming up that I think will appeal maybe to some people who are used to living in the digital world, and that's a new online game, the Greenway Challenge. Tell us about that.
Yes, the Greenway Challenge is a way for you to be in the driver's seat. So the challenge is, can you bring a Greenway to life under budget, on time, and with as much impact as possible for the community? So it takes you through all the different stages of building a Greenway and lets you make those decisions. How are you going to engage the community? What kind of traffic features are you going to include? What are you doing for conservation? And you make all those decisions, and you're tracking your budget and your timeline and your impact along the way. So we're hopeful that people will not only have fun playing the game, the challenge, but also be able to learn, what all goes into it, so that as we are in their community working with them, they're a little bit more informed too about how it works.
Emma, just about a minute left here. If someone listening has never ventured out into Great River Greenways, what are some of the best places to start?
Yes, they're all great. And I recommend if you go to our website, greatriversgreenway.org, you can go to any given greenway. And at the top of the page, it says download the guide. And there's just a 2-page, PDF where you can print it out, or we're happy to mail you one if you'd like, that gives you some route options. So if you want just like a 10-minute walk, if you want to go for, several miles, but it kind of plots it out for you. So that's a really great way to get started. And I'll also just add, I didn't tell you about the panel details, but it's Thursday morning, 8 to 9:30. And the breakfast is provided.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And that is at the Clark Family Branch Library. We really appreciate your time with us this morning, Emma.
Thank you so much. We'll see y'all out on the greenways.
All righty. That is Emma Clues, Vice President of Communications and Outreach for Great Rivers Greenway.
On this Veterans Day, we'll have a visit with retired Army General Mark Hertling, a St. Louis native, who will join us in the 11 o'clock hour. Dr. Maleka Horn-Wells on the history of Mill Creek Valley. And we're going to talk to Jesse Rogers about the gambling scandal in Major League Baseball. All that and more on the Chris and Amy Show right after the news on KMOX.
Staples presents An Easy Holiday.
Running a small business during the holidays is hard.
No truer words were.
But this year, Staples helped me have an easy holiday.
Your script has a typo.
Nope, easy peasy. I just ordered online at staples.com and picked up in store. And with UPS on site, shipping was easy too. Plus huge savings on tech, custom cards, even my holiday sale signage.
Visit your local